Join us here is Anna White, part of our Central Cass State Wrestling Duel Preview Show. And joining us here again is Anna. Anna, just take us through this past weekend up in Grand Forks. You've had the bullseye on your back as a team winning back-to-back East regions. Now you can make it a three-peat. I know there's still more to go coming up once you get to the Fargo Dome, but what did it mean leaving that gym as a third consecutive year as the East Region champs in duel?
Um, it really meant a lot to me. Like this team is such a family and it's such my family because I've been part of it for 4 years now and being a three-timer, it just really was important.
Take us through what dual wrestling just kind of means to you. I know we've asked this in prior conversations, no difference in dual and individual, but what does dual wrestling just kind of mean for you, knowing that you get one crack at it when your number gets called, so to speak, and that's it until you get ready for the next duel? Just kind of take us through your mentality as a wrestler.
Um, Travis really stresses on us to focus on our match, but also really focus on the team environment because like if we don't wrestle like a team and yeah, our your individual match is really important, but if we don't work together as a team, cheer each other on, support each other when somebody loses and things like that, it doesn't really go out the way we want it to. And I feel like stressing that team environment is a really big part of it.
As you've seen girls wrestling just continue to grow, what have you been most excited for this particular year? Because you had individuals, you had duels, and you get state. It seems like it's about as normal of a year as it possibly can be with no addition. So, what have you enjoyed most about this season with this group of girls so far here, Anna?
This year, this group of girls is really special, and so just being with everybody, every single chance I get, practice, tournaments, duels, everything, it's just I look forward to it every second.
As a wrestler, has it changed much? What particular tournament that you enjoy most? Is it the Bell? Is it state? Is it something that's been new over the last 1 or 2 years as the girls wrestling continues to evolve and grow? What's a tournament that you most like to compete in?
I think this past year since we went to Wisconsin and wrestled at the Clash, that dual tournament, I really enjoyed that tournament a lot. Like we got through some a lot of team bonding things and different situations there and just being there and competing with a high level of girls, that was a really cool experience.
When it comes to school wrestling, it's kind of fun to get out of state sometimes because you get used to so much the same wrestler that's
Yeah.
opposite of you. So, how fun was that to see some different teams, some different individuals when it came to the school side of things? Was that part of the fun with it when you got to lacrosse?
Yeah, for sure. It was a really cool experience, especially since we were able to wrestle, I believe, the 13th in the nation, and we came up really close with them, and so that was such a cool experience.
For Travis Lamar, I know he doesn't want to make it about himself, but that 400 career wins, just kind of what was that like once you won the East Region title as a team to also celebrate with your coach and celebrate a milestone like that?
I think there was a lot of emotions. A lot of us were crying because we have a lot of seniors this year. So I know like a lot of girls are like, this is the last time. But the fact that we were able to celebrate Travis's victory as well, that made it even more special.
You mentioned the seniors, you got seven of them. Just kind of what is the senior class, I guess, mean for you individually here, Anna, and what they've kind of meant with the program for yourself?
They are such role models to me because I've wrestled with them my whole entire Central Cast career, and so being with them like at tournaments and things like that, especially my practice partner, like it's gonna be very different next year. But I'm so grateful I got to experience it.
Once you get to February, what do you enjoy most about this time as a wrestler? And also, what do you enjoy most once you kind of get to state at the Fargo Dome? What's one thing that's kind of going through your mind as a wrestler once you see that calendar switch to February?
I think the right now it's my time to grind, and put in the work because once I get to that weekend next week, I know that I put in all the work and it's ready to go.
Final thing for me, Anna, you get to wrestle Dickinson, open up the quarterfinals. When you get to see a West team, what's kind of going through your mind? Are you very familiar with them? Do you not see them as much throughout the course of the year when it comes to individuals and duels? Just kind of take us through what the East-West has kind of been like the last couple of years once you get to that dual tournament.
We don't really run into the West Side as much, so it's gonna be like a different thought process going into it, but it really shouldn't change much. We just go out there and perform our best, and that's all we can do.
Hey, Anna, thanks so much for your time as always, and best of luck once you get to the Dome.
Thank you so much.
Join us is Nevaeh now, part of the Central Cast Girls Dual Wrestling team that's making their way to state. Nevaeh, just kind of what does it mean for you to be a three-peat part of this, be part of this program that wins their third straight, East Region Dual Tournament?
Pretty good. Ever since I started wrestling, which was 3 years ago, it's this definitely feels like a family kind of thing. It's not just a team, it's more of a family. So it feels pretty good to be a part of a family, not a team.
Without question, and you're able to see this continue to grow to the Fargo Dome, which always has to be fun. From a wrestling point of view, what do you enjoy most about once you get to the Fargo Dome compared to any other time, throughout the course of the season? What are you looking forward to most getting to state?
Getting to watch all the wrestling happen. I love watching wrestling. I grew up watching WWE, so I love wrestling.
For you here in Nevaeh, taking a look at this particular team, what best describes, and you maybe already alluded to it as a family, but what's a trait or characteristic that best describes this year's team when someone asks you about, Central Cast Wrestling?
We're very upbeat and happy and definitely makes you feel like you're part of a family.
From there, is there a particular favorite a moment this season, or maybe just in prior years? Is there a particular tournament or dual individual tournament that you participated in that kind of stands out more so than others?
Um, It would probably have to be when we won regionals. We all got really excited, and then all of a sudden, we all just started crying out of nowhere, and we're just like, and it all just kind of hit us that we're losing like half of our team this season. So we're not really going to have a full dual team unless we can get some girls to join. So
No,
it's probably one of my favorite moments this season.
Nevaeh, you mentioned the seniors there. Just kind of what's something you've kind of learned from them that you've taken with you into wrestling, or maybe just the normal walk of life. What have you kind of learned from the seniors?
It would definitely have to be put others in front of yourself sometimes. So it's it's honestly one of the best things because sometimes you have to just put it in your mind that, okay, like there's this going on, but how are everybody else handling it? How is everyone getting to do this and that? Definitely just putting others in front of yourself sometimes.
Take us through your wrestling journey here. Just kind of how did you get involved with wrestling to begin with here, Nevaeh?
Uh it was actually two of my teammates. Um At first, I didn't know we had a girls' team, and then two of the girls in my grade were kind of like, "Hey, you'd be good at this. Like, you should come wrestle." And I tried it out eighth grade year, and ever since eighth grade, I've just fallen in love with it, and now I'm a sophomore. So,
Why should someone give wrestling a try?
um, honestly, I think most people should give wrestling a try because if you have like, you got kind of a high temper, sometimes it can go a long way in the sport. You just have to learn how to control it in a way.
Once you get to the end of the season at a state tournament, is there something that you look forward to, like once Sunday hits or Saturday night, that you're looking forward to devour for food? It's always interesting to hear from some different wrestlers. Like there's certain diets that you obviously have, and there's certain foods that you stay away from throughout the course of the year. So, is there anything in particular, Nevaeh, that you're looking forward to?
Honestly, probably monkey bread. That's the only thing I'm not allowed to eat during wrestling season. I can have anything else but monkey cake. It's my favorite thing.
That's going to be a lot of fun for you. Hopefully, you have that for you on Sunday. Nevaeh, thank you so much for your time and best of luck moving forward here.
Yeah, thank you.
Join us is Emma Dutt here, part of the Central Cast State Preview Show. Emma, for you particularly, just take us through what it means this year to be part of that, three-peat on the East Region dual tournament side for Central Cast Wrestling this season.
It means so much to be on this wrestling team. Like having Travis as my coach, he's a really great like duels coach and like we have such like great girls on our team, so I'm really proud.
Take us through your journey. It's always fun to talk with people how they got involved with local, maybe organizations within the school or different sports or activities. But just take us through just kind of how you got involved with Central Cast Wrestling.
So, 3 years ago, my sister joined the wrestling team, and I didn't realize that I actually wanted to be on the wrestling team until I got to like state. And like I told my mom and my sister, I was like, this is something that I really want to try out. So the next year I tried it out and I was like, this is like it's really fun and I enjoyed it a lot. So I'm doing it again this year too.
What's one thing that you've kind of learned from the senior class? What's one thing you've learned just from the team in general here, Emma?
Ooh, from let's say I'd say n like not giving up. Like I've had tough times going through like last year and now this year, and it's been definitely been roller coasters, but they've been there to like support me and just bring me through it, and that's definitely helped.
How much do you talk wrestling with your sister? How much do you talk wrestling within the family? Obviously, if you have yourself, there, how much are you guys chatting about certain strategy or just wrestling in general throughout the course of the season?
Me and my sister definitely talk about it quite a bit, but my dad, he's there too, and he's always supporting me. Like we talk about like before competition and during and after about like how I wrestle and things that I can improve on, and it's definitely a lot of help, and I just enjoy talking about it with him.
Emma, is there a particular competition, whether it's a dual tournament, maybe it was an individual tournament that you've competed at? What's one tournament that you were really excited for this particular year, whether it was out of state, in state, or just something in general?
That's a really good question. I'd say the definitely the Dennis Flynn shootout. That was a really great one that I liked because I placed first there, and that was my first time ever like placing first. And I definitely had really good competition there, and that was a lot of fun.
Take us through where that particular competition is, and is that something that you want to, have an opportunity to wrestle at again next year?
I believe it was at Devil's Lake, and it was like a fun experience. And there's a bunch of great people there, and it was fun traveling with the team, and I definitely like to do it again.
Once state wrestling gets done, what are you most looking forward to eat? I always like to ask wrestlers this question because sometimes you have to change your diet, obviously, for other wrestlers more so than others. But for yourself here, Emma, is there something you're looking just to devour, so to speak, once you get done with state?
Ooh, I don't know. That's a really good question. Definitely like I'd like Who Hut, like the restaurant kind of
Yep.
place. I really like that, and I'd like to go there.
When it comes to wrestling, why should someone give it a try? You kind of give us your own journey about how you just kind of saw your sister, you went to state, you saw the atmosphere, but why should someone give wrestling a try at any particular age group when they're in the school system?
Wrestling is like almost a life-changing experience because you meet so many new people and you go through so many different experiences, and it's wild how much you change as a person and like how much your body changes too in such a good way. And I think that, it opens your mind more about like different sports and how you can be aware of more things.
Final thing before we let you go, Emma, is there superstitious when it comes to wrestling? Do you have to put the left shoe on before the right shoe, listen to a certain song before you get out on the mat? Or is it just, I'm just waiting for my number to get called and, get out there and go against the competition?
Um, there is two things that I always do. Like when I put my ankle bracelet on, like I put it on the left ankle and I always put my left foot on the line. And then before I have a match, I always listen to like the WWE wrestler Cody Rhodes theme song because I don't know, that's like my walkout song and I really like that.
Okay, Emma, thank you so much for your time and best of luck once you get to the Fargo Dome.
Thank you.
Ivy Guy joining us here, part of the Central Cast Wrestling team. Ivy, for you, what does it mean to be part of a squad that's won, three straight programs here for East Region Dual Tournament champs?
It's amazing. My team's so great with, just re respect and honesty and kindness, and I love everyone on my team.
What's been a favorite memory this year that has really jumped off the page for you? What kind of comes to mind for your favorite memory so far this season?
My favorite memory is probably getting my first pin in Devil's Lake. Although it was against one of my teammates, but it still made me happy because it was my first pin of the season.
Take us through just kind of that accomplishment, little milestones in wrestling. Just kind of take us through what your kind of emotions were once you were able to get that first pin.
Well, I mean, before I was really anxious and scared because it's my teammate. I hate wrestling teammates. But then afterwards, I was really happy and I was just, yeah, I was really excited. And then I was just comforting my teammate because she was feeling down. But
For you here, just take us through your wrestling journey, Ivy. How long have you been a wrestler, and just kind of what got you into the sport?
this is my second year wrestling. Funny thing, my friend actually made me join. She was just egging me on to join, and then I joined, and now I love it. So.
Why should someone give wrestling a try? What have you kind of learned through your own journey that someone should give wrestling a try if someone nags, so to speak, another friend across the way?
Well, I mean, I tell them that it really boosts your confidence. It makes you really it makes you work harder on the mat and just in school and outside of school. And I don't know, I feel like wrestling's really changed me, like with my friendships.
For you, is there a particular tournament that you kind of enjoyed wrestling in a little bit more so than others over the past couple of years? Is it the Bell? Is it something in between? Or what's a tournament that you kind of have circled on the schedule?
My favorite tournament's probably the Bell of the Brawl. I don't know, I just love that tournament. It's nice and big and it's here, so that really helps when it's here.
You don't have to worry about traveling or anything of that
Yeah.
nature. For you, Ivy, just take us through just wrestling in general. Just what's a favorite move of yours? What's something that you look forward to as a wrestler that you can kind of set up your opponent in?
I really like doing half Nelsons or butchers for pins. Um, but I mean, I'll do cradles too. And yeah, that's really what I go for.
What do you enjoy about February wrestling, second year doing this? What do you enjoy about this time of the year as a wrestler compared to when you're starting back up in the season in the fall?
Um, I don't know. I'm just really, I don't know how to explain it. I'm just really happy and
Is there something as you get ready done through the state tournament, asking some wrestlers, there's always a food group that you might have to stay away from, so to speak, in the season. Is there something you're looking forward to eating or devouring kind of once the year is all said and done?
Well, I mean, I'm kind of underweight right now, so I can really eat whatever, but I guess I'm really excited to start eating just more because in the wrestling season, I don't eat that much, but after it's done, I'll eat a lot more.
Favorite subject in school would be kind of what for you, Ivy? What do you enjoy studying?
I really like facts class because we get a sew and it's just a bunch of like arts and crafts and you get to learn a bunch of new things.
Yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. Ivy, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Join us now is Laken Kapaun here with the Central Cast Wrestling team. Laken, just kind of take us through the three-peat of the East Region Dual Tournament champs. Just kind of take us through the emotions and what it means for you to, come out on top again for a third straight season.
I was nervous and stuff, and I was talking to my teammates and stuff, and they were cheering me on, and yeah.
You were able to get that pin, in that championship match. It almost took the whole 6 minutes. You almost went to extra time a little bit, but what did that mean, coming out with that result and, getting your team a little bit closer to winning that East Region Dual Tournament?
I was just happy because I'm pretty sure I don't really remember it, but the last time I wrestled her, I lost, and I was just glad that I won, I guess.
For you, Lakin, what do you enjoy most about wrestling, and what do you enjoy most about this year's team for Central Cast Girls Wrestling?
I just like love how it's so physical and stuff, but I also just love my team and how they like treat me and all that stuff. And it's just so fun. And like I love the overnight stays and stuff. Yeah.
Favorite memory for this season would be kind of what? You mentioned some overnights. Was it an overnight trip somewhere? Is it a particular dual tournament? Just what's a favorite memory or two so far
Um,
this season?
Probably us going to La Crosse, Wisconsin, or doing our dual tournament. That was so fun. Good memories, the hotel and stuff was so fun. Going out to eat with our team and stuff. That was probably my best memory I've had.
What made the lacrosse journey? Because we've heard from some of your other teammates that they've really enjoyed it. What just made that lacrosse just be a little bit more unique or a little bit different than anything else? Was it the travel? Was it the different wrestlers? All of the above? Just kind of what did you enjoy most about that particular weekend, Laken?
I think that it was just like, well, we didn't really know what we're going into, and we're wrestling different people from different states and all this stuff, so we don't really know the girls. So I think we were just less nervous because we didn't know who we were wrestling, and we just wrestled really good. Nobody was really hurt at that time, so it was really fun. But then also when we were done and stuff, we won. We gotta go do stuff that's fun with our team that we normally don't get to do because you just don't really hang out with your team after practice or anything. So it just was like good team bonding and stuff and like all that. I just really enjoyed that.
Laken, for you, what are you most looking forward to once you get to that Fargo Dome, particularly in the state dual tournament? What are you most looking forward to once you get to that, Saturday morning against Dickinson?
You know, I don't really know yet. I'm just happy that we made it and stuff. Um, I'm still kind of taking in the feeling and stuff, so I'm just excited.
Take us through your wrestling journey. Just how long have you been a wrestler? Kind of what got you into the sport and kind of where you are now here, Laken.
So I started in third grade, I think. So quite a while ago. My dad just kind of started pushing me into it. He's like, let's just go practice today. I actually wrestled Ava Crandall, like going to practice and stuff. And then I just kind of just fell in love with it.
Why should someone give wrestling a try? What's the reason, whether it's, in elementary, middle school, or they haven't done it till high school? Why should someone give wrestling a try for a sport?
You know, it's just really fun, good team bonding and stuff. Um, You get to make a lot of friends, like going to camps and stuff is so fun because you get to just make friends from other teams. And then when you go to duels and like all that stuff, you get to say like, hey, hi, how you been doing? And like it's just so fun and like I don't know.
Final thing for me, like, and when it comes to wrestling, are you superstitious at all? Like, do you have to put the right shoe on, so to speak, before the left? Is there certain music before you get to the mat, or is it I'm just waiting for my number to be called, so to speak, and go out there and compete?
Well, I'm not really sure. I always wear a bun, if you notice that. So like that's kind of my superstition. Um, I don't really think I have one. I'm not really sure.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your time, Laken, and congratulations again on making it to state on the dual side.
Thank you.
Emma Schneider joining us now, part of the Central Cast Wrestling Team Duel preview. And for you, Emma, just what does it mean to be part of a team that's making it to state as the dual side for the third consecutive season as the East #1 team?
Probably a lot of confidence and teamwork.
Emma, is there something in particular through your wrestling journey that has stood out for Central Cast in terms of a favorite memory, something that just really stands out more so than others?
Um, Probably how close we are. Like when we went to the Clash in Wisconsin, we had a 6-hour bus drive and we were just playing games and it was just so much fun.
Is it safe to say that was one of your favorite memories when it comes to this, and why it was outside of the bus drive and getting to knowing some of your teammates? Why else was that just a fun weekend for you?
I would say probably like going out to eat and just going somewhere we have never been before and just like winning was really good.
Take us through your wrestling journey. Just kind of how long, Emma, have you been a wrestler, and what kind of got you into the sport?
I've been a wrestler for 4 years and I joined because my sister joined and I wanted to be better than her. So I joined because of that.
The little sibling rivalry. Would you say you're better than your sister, or do you not really say that too much to her?
No, not really.
Emma, how much do you talk at the dinner table or just in general with your family about wrestling then? How much does it kind of get brought up just in day-to-day conversation?
It gets brought up a lot. in school, outside of school, at the dinner table, in the car ride, everywhere.
Why should someone give wrestling a try at their local school or their local program?
Wrestling is it like helps you get more confident, and I think it's like a very mental game. So then when you join wrestling, then I feel like you'll get more confident and figure out things in life more easily.
That was going to be my follow-up question. What have you kind of learned from the mat that you take with you off the mat? You know, whether it's practice, whether it's tournaments, what's something that you've kind of learned, on the mat that you take with you, part of your, day-to-day lifestyle?
Confidence, and I've made a lot of friends. So, yeah.
When it comes to superstitions, are you superstitious at all when it comes to wrestling? Do you have to put the left shoe on before the right, listen to certain music, so to speak, before you get to the mat? Anything of that nature come to mind?
I listen to this one song before every single match, and then I say a prayer.
When it comes to wrestling here, just kind of the biggest thing about this year's club, what's something that you have enjoyed most about this year's team with the seniors down to the middle schoolers? What's something that you just enjoyed most here, Emma?
Probably our team bonding, and like I love the seniors so much.
What have you kind of learned from them? Last question. What's something that you've kind of learned from the seniors?
Um, Probably to be grateful and always be happy.
Perfect. Well, thanks so much for your time and best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Cheyenne joining us now, part of the Central Cast Wrestling team. Cheyenne, for you, just what does it mean for a three-peat on the East Region Dual Tournament? Obviously, the bullies on the block, so to speak, after winning back-to-back and able to win a three-peat. What does it just kind of mean for you this season?
I think it's awesome that we've won back to back 3 times because I've gotten to experience like all three throughout my high school years, and being able to see like these new girls join and be able to like win regions is just awesome.
As you look forward to what the Fargo Dome is going to provide on the state dual side, what do you most look forward to as a wrestler once you kind of get to that state tournament that's different from any other tournament throughout the course of the season?
State, it's it's really important, and like just being with your teammates and like having that environment of like just helping each other out is really awesome. And then being able to like wrestle different girls I haven't wrestled this year from like the other side of the region, and like just getting the experience, and then
As
hopefully hope.
No, you're good, Cheyenne. I was just gonna say, as you talked about, seeing some different wrestlers, are you more excited to see like a Dickinson, for example, at a team duel or someone out west, or does it create more familiarity seeing someone that you've seen already three, four, five, 10 times, so to speak, in the East once you get to state? What's a little bit challenging or a little bit more familiar? Which one do you like? I guess something
I
new
like
or something similar?
I like more of a challenge because I don't know how these girls wrestle, so I don't like have to, so I can wrestle my own match and I don't have to worry about like, oh, they're gonna do this and I have to do this. I just like a different, I just like different wrestling.
As a senior, what's one thing that you hope to kind of, leave behind once it's all said and done here for the state tournament coming up? But what's one thing that you just kind of, from yourself and also just the seniors this year, Cheyenne, that you hope to kind of leave behind for future squirrels coming up through the program?
I hope that the younger, like our younger girls can see that like we can, like if you work as a team and if you work as an individual, you will make it to state and you will do good in the end. And just that it's worth it. Like all this, like the whole year just to make it to state is worth it.
Well, how have you seen yourself grow, but also girls wrestling grow just in the last couple of years of where it was, 4 years ago, Cheyenne, to where we are now today here in, 2025, talking about North Dakota girls wrestling?
Girls wrestling has grown a lot because I remember how small it was starting, and now there's so much more competition. There's so many more girls that are even like considering wrestling, which I think is awesome. And how I've grown, I think I've grown a lot as like a person because wrestling's physically and mentally challenging, and it pushes you. It really does.
Take us through your favorite memories up to this point when we're chatting. What's a favorite memory or two for you being part of the Central Cast Wrestling program?
My favorite memory would probably be in going to Wisconsin, the Clash for national wrestling.
for national wrestling duels and just being with the team because those duels they aren't like they're important, but we just were a lot more happy and there was a lot less stress.
As you go from here, what does it mean to be part of Coach Travis Lemar's, 400th career win? I know he likes to talk about you guys as a team and individuals, not so much on his self, but what did that mean to be part of that up in Grand Forks and being part of the kind of cherry on top, if you will, winning the East Region Dual Tournament?
I think that's awesome that he got his 400th win like for our region win. It really means a lot because it just means a lot because it's a part of him and it's a part of us and it's something you'll forever remember.
Cheyenne, you're heading off to NDSCS coming up here in the fall. Just kind of what made North Dakota State College of Science the right fit here and the field of study that you'll be going to as well.
The field of study?
Yeah, just kind of what you're going to be studying down there. Just kind of what made NDSCS be the right choice and the right fit for you.
So I decided to apply for practical nursing, and the reason I chose NDSCS is because they have a pharmacy technician course here, and NDSCS and Essentia run it, and I liked the course, and I really liked the CNA class Central Cass has, so it just I just like the field and yeah.
Hey, Cheyenne, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck at state and once you become a Wildcat as well coming up in the fall.
Thank you.
Joining us now is Aubrey Quinn here, part of the Central Cass Wrestling Team Dual Tournament. And for you, Aubrey, making it to another state tournament here, able to see the three-peat on the East Region Dual side, just kind of what does it mean for you to be part of this team? And just kind of take us through the emotions on winning the third East Region Dual tournament.
It was really important for us, I think, as a team. Duels are more exciting because we get to work together. It's not like as much individual, it's more of like a team effort. And it was also super important because it was Travis's 300th or 400th dual win. So it was really exciting, both of those combined together that lined up right when we won regionals.
I know Travis doesn't want to talk about himself, but you brought it up here a little bit. So what was that emotion like, just understanding, the 400th one there, Aubrey, and what does that just kind of mean to be part of that team that was able to, give him that 400th career milestone?
Well, 400 is a lot of wins. So I think it was great that all of the girls were there and it was super emotional, I think, for all of us, knowing that that's like a really good, like really big achievement. So it was important that we were all there as a team kind of to support him through that.
As you get ready for the Fargo Dome on that Saturday morning for the duels to kind of put a bow on the state tournament and on the season, what are you most looking forward to, just once you get to the Fargo Dome here, Aubrey?
I'm just excited for so a lot of relationships are made through wrestling and it's really fun for all of us to kind of work together and support each other. It's really important to be loud and just make sure you're cheering everybody on.
Something that you've kind of learned with this senior class would be what? What's something that you kind of have learned from the seniors?
Um, just being really supportive through everybody, not just certain people, just to cheer everybody on the team. Even exhibition matches or things that don't really count for score, just to be really loud and cheer everybody on.
Is there a particular tournament that you most look forward to competing in, or something that you look forward to as a particular weekend once you kind of get to see the wrestling schedule come out?
I like regionals. It's really a lot of energy, seeing if people qualify for state. That's really fun. I also love Bella the Brawl. That's our home tournament. It's really big. I love home tournaments because it's there's more fans and it's just a lot more energy. So I look forward to those ones.
Without question, the Bell's definitely become a kind of a beast of its own in a good way from the wrestling
hmm
point of view. Just take us through why someone should give wrestling a try. I know girls wrestling continues to develop and grow every year. We're seeing more schools, added as a program, whether it's for individuals or they have enough wrestlers to form a dual team here. But why should someone give, wrestling a shot?
Well, I started last year, so I'm kind of new, and I'm a senior, so it's kind of a newer sport, I think, for girls too. I was thinking about it and just decided to join, and it's one of the better decisions I've made. I think the most important thing is I've made a lot of new friendships. That's probably been the most important thing. It's just good to be a part of a team, and yeah, it's really fun.
Mentioned a senior here, going plans for next year kind of would be what? I know as a senior you get peppered you get asked that question, it seems like daily, but what's kind of the plans going forward for you here, Aubrey?
I'm hoping to go to Mayville for early childhood special education.
What just kind of made that particular the field of development just kind of be the right suit for you? What kind of made you want to learn more about it?
I have a few family members that have learning disabilities, so I think just being around that kind of stemmed my interest in that field.
Yeah, we're going to be fun with that education process as well. Aubrey, what's one thing as a wrestler that you've kind of learned that you have taken with you outside of the wrestling room, outside of the mat? What have you kind of learned in this year and a half to now 2 years, wrestling?
Just like the mentality is really important. Like if you think that you're done, like your body can go more. Like it's a lot of like mind games and things like that. Like you can keep going even if you think you can't. I think that's like the most important thing.
Is there anything once the season gets done that you're looking forward to devouring for food, so to speak, once you get to that
Uh,
Sunday, Monday?
Everything.
That's going to be pretty good. Aubrey, thank you so much for your time and best of luck once you get to the Fargo Dome.
Yeah, thank you.
Joining us is now Lauren from the Central Cast Wrestling Dual Team State Preview Show here. And Lauren, just for you, just take us through just take us through the weekend that was in Grand Forks. Able to come out with a third straight East Region Dual team title. Just kind of what it means to you and be part of this team here this season, winning a three-peat.
I think it's awesome, especially since it's my first year wrestling on the high school team. And it just like, I really enjoy hanging out with my team. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it.
You mentioned it's your first year at the high school level, wrestling with this group
Yeah.
of girls. So, what's a trait or characteristic, something that you best like about this year's team that has allowed you to get back to state, at least on the dual side?
Um, I really enjoy working as a team and um like I don't know. Huh. I just really enjoy working as a team. Yeah.
And from there, what's been a tournament that you enjoyed most wrestling or competing at? I know we've heard lacrosse, Wisconsin. Sometimes you get to hear the bell of the brawl, obviously your own tournament. But what's a tournament or two that you enjoyed most competing at this year here, Lauren?
I like going to Wisconsin and wrestling new teams that I've never wrestled before. And I think we wrestled really good down there, especially not knowing like where the teams are from or like how they were going to compete against us.
How refreshing was that? Because sometimes as a wrestler, you get used to wrestling the same individuals so many
Yeah.
times, throughout the course of the season. How fun was that just to see brand new teams, no matter where they were from?
I love seeing brand new teams and um sometimes I just gets like overwhelming wrestling the same person over again. So it's nice to have a new change.
What are you most looking forward to once you get to that Fargo Dome, particularly on the dual side? What are you most looking forward just to seeing from yourself, the team, the fans? I guess what are you just amped up for once you get to the dome?
Um Probably mm, hmm. I'd say I don't know. Like the fan section and everyone cheering. I think we're gonna compete very well as a dual team at state because yeah, we have a good team this year.
Take us through just the seven seniors. Kind of what do they mean to you, and what's something that they've kind of passed down, so to speak, here, Lauren? What's something that you kind of learned from them that you hope to carry with you, going forward?
Um, they've all had an impact in my first year. They're all really nice, kind, and um, they always make sure we're cheering loud for everyone as a dual team. And I'm just glad that I get to wrestle with them on this year.
Is there a superstition when it comes to wrestling for yourself? Do you have to do something, so to speak, on match day or before you get to the mat, like put your left shoe on before the right shoe? Or is it, let's just get to the mat, let's get to, my particular match and go out there and compete? Are you superstitious at all, Lauren, when it comes to wrestling?
No, I think I just tell myself one match at a time and just focus on the first match.
Once the season gets done, what are you looking forward to eating the most? I know that's always a question sometimes for wrestling, just to enjoy it a little bit, but is there something or some type of food that you're looking to devour, so to speak, once you get past that state tournament?
Honestly, I'm wrestling 100 pounds and I'm only 90 pounds, so I don't really have to watch what I have to eat.
That's the best answer yet. If you're a wrestler right there, you can just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Final thing for me, Lauren, favorite school subject. What's something that you enjoy really most learning about in school, kind of day to day, or a particular class that has kind of allowed you to really just grow a little bit more in school?
I enjoy math, because I like training my brain and everything.
Works well, obviously, when you have to figure that out with the mat as well. Lauren, thank you so much for your time and best of luck at state.
Thank you.
Join us now, Ava Gulleson here with the Central Cast Wrestling team. Ava, just take us through. I've kind of started with most of your teammates. Just winning the three-peat, going back to back, having that bullseye on your back the entire year, but coming out with the East Region champs. I know you still have more aspirations throughout the course of the season here, Ava. But what does it mean to be a three-peat on the dual side?
Well, winning our third one, I don't know if you heard, Trav got his 400th, and that was a whirlwind of emotions. So not only were we super excited that we were three-time region champs, but we were just so emotional. It was such a great feeling. So it just made the win even better, having that 400th win on top of it. But it's super awesome. We've had a very consistent team the last 3 years, and we've been super successful, and we're lucky to have each other.
Ava, I know Travis doesn't like to talk about himself. He wants to focus on the team and focus on the wrestlers at hand. But what does it mean for you to be part of that milestone and that accomplishment, able to be part of that with him here this season?
Casey, you're totally right. He does not like being talked about, but I will hype him up every chance I can get. He is a great coach. Even when he teaches the Crushers or teaches the girls and boys team. He's all around a great role model. Every day I know we have wrestlers going in his office just to chat with him. So we obviously don't get enough of him at practice. We have to see him during the school day too. So he is just a huge mentor, and being able to share that milestone with him was just so awesome. And there was previous teams in all the years that worked up to that. So I thought it was super awesome that some of our coaches are wrestlers that used to wrestle for him. So they got to celebrate that as well as they have added to that 400th dual win.
You're a senior here. What does it mean your senior year to know that you're going back to state, particularly on the dual side on that team portion of it here, Ava?
Yeah, it is so awesome. I am so excited just knowing that we are going back and it's my final year, so I just got to finish it out strong. It has gone so fast. Like I remember last year thinking it was quick, and now I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow, we only have 6 practices until state. And that is so crazy to me. But it's so awesome, and I'm so excited to finish out on a high note, which is that third day.
Is there a particular trait that best describes this year version, Ava? What's something that you best like about this year's team for Central Cast Girls Wrestling?
Specifically, I would just say how well our team dynamic is. Like we are all at different weight classes, but we like kind of group up in like our specific partners during the day. And Lois Schneider actually mentioned the other day, she said, I have never been with a team that has gotten well together so as much as like other sports. So we just like we fit well together. We are with each other all the time, and we're just a family.
As you go back through up to this point of this conversation, what is a favorite couple of wrestling moments during your career, Ava, that you've enjoyed the most? Kind of just jump out of the memory bank right off the chute.
My favorite memory that I can think of is our first ever dual champ in regions. That was in Carrington. I wrestled the Carrington girl, and I remember I like ankle picked her, and then the crowd was just like two, and now the points are three. So it's changed a little bit, but I just love hearing like the crowd yell that what the point is supposed to be. I That is just a memory that is always stuck with me.
I know I haven't talked too much about the twos this year because you're right, you don't hear it too often unless you get the
Yeah.
reversal now. But any difference with the point structure this year or after you did it about one weekend of a duel or one weekend of individuals, you kind of knew what was going through your mind? How much of a change or was it much of a change for you this year on the mat, Ava?
I didn't feel there was a huge change. I'm not technically known for my shots, as I don't really take those as much as I probably should. Um, but yeah, the point difference was it was obviously different, but it didn't really have a huge impact on us because when we go out there and wrestle, we go out there to get the job done. We're not too worried about teching people or getting that point. If we do get techs, that's awesome. It's super exciting, but really we go out there and we get pins.
What's something that you hope to leave, no matter what happens once you get to the Fargo Dome? Just what's something you hope that leaves for the next generation of wrestlers coming up through the program?
I know that we kind of have a big wave of seniors that are leaving this year, and I just hope that we have left like a large impact on those like freshman, sophomore girls. Because the juniors, they're gonna hit that senior year and they're gonna be the leaders, but like the younger girls, they have so many years left to come. So I just want to make sure we leave like a good impact on them so they can find success through their career and become leaders too.
Ava, this is a question that I always kind of joke with seniors. You get asked from the very first day that you're a senior, where are you going next? What's up next? So we'll ask that there. Any particular plans once you're all done with Central Cass?
When I'm done with Central Cass, I am planning to go to NDSU. I'm going to go major in business management and possibly minor in nonprofit administration. I have kind of gotten into philanthropy and youth this year, which is a organization ran by the Berry Foundation, and I have been super involved in nonprofits, and I've just fallen in love with the whole philanthropic view of it. So hopefully I will be able to minor in that this coming
As
fall.
Was that the kind of the reason going from that point of view into business? Did it just make sense then for what you want to do long term, to as much as you want to be part of philanthropics and give back, that hey, if I can have the business acumen with it, it's a 1-2 combination. Did that just kind of go hand in hand, so to speak, Eva, when you're trying to figure out what you wanted to do?
Yeah, for sure. Because being in pay, we go on these said site visits. Well, when we're on those visits, we're getting tours from like the CEOs and like the managers and like the leaders of this business as a whole. And so I just think it's cool to incorporate the two within each other. So if I do one day own my own business, I can maybe incorporate that nonprofit portion of it.
Before we let you go, Ava, what just makes the Fargo Dome State Wrestling just so different than the obvious? It's the last, meet. It's the last wrestling event of the year. But what do you enjoy most about the Fargo Dome, or what kind of goes through your mind as a wrestler once you get to state?
I've been on both sides of this spectrum where you're in the audience in the crowd and you're cheering, but you're also wrestling. I love our fans. Wrestling fans are like no other sports. They're crazy, they're awesome. My mom is like planning a ton of things. She's like, "You guys need to dye your hair red." They have signs being printed. When all the lights go out for those final matches, all like the glowing stuff that they have. So my favorite part is that like audience side of it because I think they're so awesome and there's support from all over. Our school is kind of specific when they come to putting their snow days. So our makeup snow day is on that Friday. Well, that's not really just a coincidence. It's because people love to go watch state wrestling. So we don't have school that Friday, and we hope that our high school team will come out and watch.
Hey, Ava, thanks so much for your time. Best of luck moving forward, and as well once you go next fall to SU.
Thank you so much.
Joining us now, Mallory DeVries here from Central Cast. Mallory, I've kind of started off with some of your fellow teammates this question. Back-to-back East Region champs, and now you can make it a three-peat. You got the bullseye that was kind of going on your back. So what did it mean just to leave Grand Forks, with a three-peat, and go into the state tournament as the East number one once you get to dual state here coming up at the Dome?
It was really exciting. Everyone was like super happy, and we are all just like hyping each other up because we're really excited to be able to go to state this year.
What's one thing that you will best like about this year's state team on the dual side that we've been able to see that has allowed you to get to this particular point and be that East number one seed yet again?
Something I like a lot about like the dual tournaments is everyone is there to support you. It's like a family, and we're all like everyone's just there. Yeah.
When you got to Grand Forks and you got to that dual championship, you had a Lincoln obviously earned that pin at the 524 mark. Then Grace was able to earn one after that. That kind of officially gave you guys a title. Just take us through your mindset and seeing your teammates to go out there and compete, Mallory, and what's kind of going through your mind when you knew officially as a team that you were going to be the dual champs again.
Um, for me, I don't really like pay attention to the like dual points while I'm trying to watch them. So it's just mostly just like going out there and wanting to like see how they do, cheer them on, and just kind of being able to see like what they do because sometimes it's like they have really fun matches to watch because you never know what's gonna happen.
This senior seven, so to speak, with you guys. What's just something from this senior class that you've enjoyed the most with your fellow seniors here, Mallory? What just kind of makes this senior class unique in its own right compared to other senior classes now that you are the elder statesman, so to speak, in the room?
I would say just how much we've like grown and since we were the senior class that's uh when like wrestling first got introduced, it was just seeing like, oh, we came out and we tried it and like look where we've got to like began to now, just how much we've grown and improved.
Able to have Travis Lemar be part of the team that gets to 400 career wins for him. How cool was that to just kind of put the cherry on top on that Saturday up in Grand Forks, Mallory?
That was awesome. Everyone was so happy. I believe we had a couple of posters made and like everyone was just so happy to be able to celebrate that with him.
You're heading down to Concordia, going to compete in track and field a little bit there as well with cross country. Just take us through your commitment to Concordia and what made both from an academic but also just the athletic point of view stand out and be the right fit for you.
I really liked like their atmosphere. It's really like involved in students and like their academics and being able to get them ready for like real life. And then for cross country, I wanted to be able to pursue like running, but at the same time I didn't want the like heavy pressure of a D1 school. So I was like, I like the atmosphere and I also got to spend a day with the team and I really liked the team and I was like, this was a good fit for me.
Take us through the major counting, just kind of what made numbers be the right thing. Because for some people, numbers is not what they want to go into, so to speak, and other people it maybe clicks a little bit more, Mallory. But what made accounting just kind of be the right subject for you, kind of once you get to college there at Concordia?
For me, it's just I love numbers. I love math. I always have.
Favorite dual tournament? Maybe there was an individual tournament. What's one or two in your career that you enjoyed most competing at, or one that you kind of looked forward to, whether it was something new this year or something that you've been able to do a couple of times already, like the Bell, for example, during your tenure there with Central Cass?
My favorite tournaments would probably be the region duels, like I said, because we were able to wrestle as like a team. Everyone was there to just support everyone. And I would also say I really liked Letterman's. It became a all guys tournament this year, which I was really sad about, but that was also probably one of my favorite tournaments.
Hey, Mallory, thank you so much for your time. Best of luck on moving forward here throughout the rest of the year once you get ready for state and also at Concordia coming up next fall.
Thank you.
Isabel Dutt joining us now, part of the Central Cass State Wrestling Dual Tournament team, as they're able again to be the East #1 seed. Isabel, just I've kind of started off with a lot of your teammates with this same question. What does it mean to win a third straight East Region Dual Tournament championship for you?
Man, it's just crazy. I mean, the moment that we won it, it was just absolutely, we were so excited and it means the world. And just working together as a team was so fun to get here. And we knew we could do it and we pulled it off. So it was great.
What's one thing that you best like about this year's version of Central Cass Wrestling that, at least from the dual portion, has put you in this spot as being the East #1 seed as you get ready for that state tournament at the Dome?
I think just how hard we work as a dual team and how we cheer each other on and just knowing that we wrestle for a team and not individually, just doing it for each other.
As a senior, has the year gone a little bit quicker than it normally would be? Is it already like, wow, how is it February? Just kind of take us through what this year has been like for you as a senior.
Yeah, absolutely. It pretty much went from November straight to February. There was no like, oh my gosh, the season is yeah, it's gone really, really fast. Especially as a senior, it's crazy to know it's almost done.
For you, taking a look back, is there a particular moment that stands out more so than others with wrestling, whether it's a practice, maybe it was a travel somewhere, maybe it's something that you able to compete at on the mat here? Isabel, is there just something that kind of stands out more so than others?
Definitely East Region duels. Winning that, it was an amazing moment, and we all were just so happy to be there together and be great.
Able to go from this particular standpoint into what the next future is going to be told. I know as seniors you get asked this every day. So Isabel, what's the plans once you're all set and done for Central Cass?
Undecided.
That's not a bad thing to worry about. You got to get through the state tournament first, right? That's the main thing. Isabel, when you take a look at wrestling, why should someone give wrestling a try? Boys or girls? I know girls has been the new thing that people have talked about over the last couple of years, seeing the growth of it. But why should someone give, high school wrestling or just wrestling in general at any level an opportunity?
I just think that it teaches you so much as a human. Like, I mean, it teaches you hard work and it teaches you how to work as a team and individually. It works a lot with your mental health, your physical health, and overall, I think it just helps a lot. Everything's easier after wrestling.
Is there something in particular, to your point, that you have noticed the first time you tried wrestling that you took with you outside the wrestling mat, so to speak, the normal 8 to 5? What was the one or two traits that you kind of took with you outside the mat after that first couple of practices or that first tournament?
I think that definitely the hard work, like putting in the work in the room and just doing everything and knowing that you put in the hard work and you get a good output.
As you get ready for the upcoming postseason here, but once state is done, I always like to ask wrestlers this question. Is there something you're looking forward to eat or something that you're looking forward to just to devour once you kind of get through state?
Ice cream. I'm so excited.
So are we talking hot fudge ice cream? Are we talking swirl? Is it strawberries? Is it mint? What are we talking about here when it comes to ice cream?
Chocolate. All the
Chocolate?
chocolate ice cream I can get.
Is this chocolate with cone, chocolate sprinkles, or just chocolate everything?
Chocolate everything.
Isabel, as you kind of just take a look back here, what does it also mean to be part of? I've asked some of your fellow teammates this question too. What does it mean part of the coaching staff of Travis Lemar to get his 400th career win and be part of that senior class, but also just the team to see someone have an accomplishment like that?
It was amazing. We were all so proud of Mr. Lemar for all the duels that he's won and how amazing of a coach he is. And he has so much confidence in us and he coaches us so well. And we definitely, it's everything that we do is for him.
Isabel, thanks so much for your time and best of luck once you get to the state tournament.
Thank you.
Gracie Kost joining us now, part of the Central Cass wrestling team. For you, Gracie, just what does it mean to be part of a squad that's won 3 consecutive East Region dual tournaments and being part of this program?
Feels pretty good to have a really good team and they support you through everything. And yeah, it's just really good having a team supporting you and winning a lot of the good matches. And even if you lose, like they support you in any way too. So it's pretty good to have a very supporting team.
Take us through your journey in wrestling. Kind of how long have you been a wrestler and how did you kind of get into the sport?
So my friend, she actually forced me to do this. She was like, you should do it, you should do it. And I was like, okay, I'll do it.
So, how long have you been doing wrestling now or been a wrestler here at Gracie?
2 years now. It's been really fun. And yeah, these girls are really nice.
What's something you kind of learned in 2 years in wrestling that you've taken with you off the mat, part of your day-to-day lifestyle, or just when you're at home? What's something that you've kind of, taken with you outside of wrestling?
Probably confidence and honesty and respect.
Why should someone give wrestling a try?
I mean, it's fun and you learn a lot from it and you basically get stronger every day. And I feel like, yeah, it's amazing and you give it your all, so it's really fun.
You've done it for a couple of years here, Gracie. What's a memory? What's one or two memories that you have enjoyed the most as a wrestler here?
Probably the bus rides back because there's like so many people talking to you that you haven't talked to in like a while. And it's just really fun to talk to them and get to know them more. And that's about it.
What have you learned from the seniors that you've kind of taken with you, in wrestling here? What's something that you've kind of learned from them?
Probably confidence and effort.
Favorite subject in school would be what?
Um, Probably social studies.
Social studies? Is there any particular part of history that you like? Is it American history? Is it something across the sea?
Um, Probably learning about the Constitution and the Bill of Rights.
Hey, Gracie, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Emerson Faleide joined us here with the Central Cast Wrestling team. Emerson, just what does it mean this year to be part of this three-peat on the dual side in particular? Just what does it mean be part of a third straight year winning an East Region championship?
I love to be a part of it and get the experience. We have a great amount of girls that are really passionate about what we do, and I feel like we put in so much work and so much effort that it really shows our outcome. And so that's why we are where we are today.
Take us through this best trait. You kind of maybe alluded to it a little bit there, Emerson, but what's a trait or characteristic that best describes this year's version of Central Cast Wrestling?
Um, Effort and attitude. We live by that, and we that's the only thing you can control is how much effort you put in, and your outcome is by your effort and attitude.
What are you most excited for once you get to that, state dual tournament? What are you most looking forward to once you get to the Fargo Dome?
Definitely just connecting with the seniors for one last time. Just, I feel like that duels are definitely where the team comes together the most and where we can really just connect and really be a family.
What's something you mentioned the seniors? What's something that you've kind of taken away from this year's senior class?
They really step up and they love to be on the team and they really show leadership and extreme hard work. And I feel like that I definitely look up to them for all of that. So they're definitely one of my biggest people that I look up to.
Particular favorite moment in wrestling, Emerson? Is it something at a dual tournament? Is something individual? Something at practice? Just what's a favorite memory that comes to mind? One or two that comes to mind for you here?
Definitely when we went to Wisconsin, I thought that that was such a great atmosphere and different. We've never done anything like that. And I feel like it was such a great opportunity and a bonding experience with our team, just being able to perform on a dual team. So that would probably be one of my favorite memories this year.
Well, you've heard that from one or two of your other teammates that they really enjoyed Wisconsin. But for you, Emerson, why did you really enjoy it in terms of was it the travel? Was it just something, the bonding? Was it wrestling someone that you don't have to worry about that you see every other weekend, once you kind of in the school wrestling? What just kind of made it stand out more so than just any other tournament that you would have throughout the course of the season?
Yeah, so towards the beginning of the year, I wasn't doing my best and I wasn't doing my greatest. But when we traveled that far and I didn't have a worry about who I was gonna be wrestling because, it didn't affect me as much. But I got my first win there. And so that was kind of just an eye-opening experience. Like I can give more effort than I think I can. So just being able to finally have that confirmation that I can win. So just being able to bring that back home was really nice.
Why should someone give wrestling a try? What have you kind of learned from it? Why should someone give wrestling an opportunity?
I think that everyone should give it an opportunity. You can find your own groove and kind of what you like. Um, it's definitely eye-opening because at first I thought that it was something that I would never want to try. It's way too, gross, climbing around everyone. But no, it's kind of a relief to be able to take all my anger and some of those tensions that I have and just being able to put that on the mat or even during practice when we're running. So it really helps with me and it's a space where I can just go and be and it's just really awesome.
Hey, Emerson, congratulations again and best of luck moving forward once you get to the Fargo Dome.
Thank you.
Taylen joining us now, part of the Central Cast Wrestling Dual State Tournament preview. And Taylen, for you, just what does it mean heading back to state here? But more importantly, being part of a program that's won 3 consecutive now East Region Dual Championships.
Being a part of this program, I'm pretty proud because we work so hard to make it up to state, and it takes a lot of team time to make it to state. It takes a lot of practice on the mat, and it's just really fun to hang out with your friends, but also doing like a sport you love. So it means a lot for me to be able to go to state and be able to wrestle there.
What are you most looking forward to once you get to that Saturday morning, once you get the duels underway?
I'm looking forward to just having fun, going to win, doing my best.
Take us through a trader characteristic that best describes this year's Central Cast team. What's something that best describes, or what's something that you really like about this wrestling program this season?
I really like our team bonding that we have because we have really good team bonding. We just click. Like there's no fighting with each other. We just have fun and don't worry about it. We just cheer each other on, do what we love.
What's a favorite memory so far of this year that you would like, or just a favorite memory of wrestling in general that kind of sticks out more so than the others?
Going to Wisconsin for duels.
What makes Wisconsin so fun? Because you're not the only teammate that has said that. We've heard that from a multitude of people. What makes it so fun, or made it so fun?
There was just a lot of team bonding and getting to know my team better, and it was really fun to go out there and win. And we cheered each other on, and we got to know each other more. We got to know our coaches more. We got to spend time with our coaches. It was just a blast.
Taylen, for you, when it comes to wrestling, just take us through your journey. How long have you been a wrestler, and just kind of how did you get into the sport?
I started last year, halfway through the year. So I started after Christmas break. So this is my first full year, and I've seen so much improvement, and I have made it so much farther. I've cut weight classes. I've made myself better by improving, taking the time. It just takes time and a lot of learning and having people teach you and take the time to teach you to
For you,
make it.
Taylen, here, what's something on the mat that you've taken with you off the mat, so to speak, your normal day-to-day life that doesn't involve, a wrestling practice or a meet? What's something that you've kind of taken from the mat, part of your day-to-day life?
They teach us a lot of respect at wrestling. For us, they teach us how to respect humans and how to get along with people. And I feel like that helps us a lot in life and being able to respect people because we're very respectful on the mat and outside of the room. So I feel like respect is very high up there.
Final thing for me, why should someone give wrestling a try that maybe hasn't, given it a try, or in your case, kind of stepped through that, midway through the season here, Taylor? Why should someone give wrestling a shot?
People think wrestling is really hard and it's way more aggressive than it actually is. Yes, you have to go out there and be aggressive, but going out there and just putting all of your energy into it and doing your stuff and not worrying about what they're doing. Your mind is just so set on what you're doing. So it doesn't even matter, you don't even worry about it. People are just so worried about, oh, I'm gonna lose. If you go in there with the right mindset and the right goals for the match, it will turn out amazing.
Taylen, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck as you get ready for state.
Thank you.
Annie, just take us through here part of your journey with high school wrestling. We'll get to that in a moment. But what does it just mean to be part of this Central Cast wrestling group for you and part of this squad that's making its way back to a state tournament here, Annie, in wrestling?
I think it's just fun to be on a team that is really good. We have a lot of good people, and just everybody's fun to be around, and they're always so happy during practice.
For you, Annie, just take us through your wrestling journey. How long have you been a wrestler, and kind of what got you into the sport?
I'm a 7th grader, and this is my first year for high school, but I was in their crushers for about 4 years, I think.
Why should someone give wrestling a try? What would be a reason they should give the sport a try?
never know if you're gonna like it or not. That nothing hurts to try something new.
What do you enjoy most about this year's version of Central Cast Wrestling?
The people, everybody's super kind and they're just fun to be around.
Is there a particular favorite moment, whether it's in Crushers or this year here with the high school team for you, Annie? Is there a particular wrestling moment that stands out more so than the others?
Probably just watching everybody wrestle. It's just fun to cheer everybody on and watch them win.
When it comes to the dual set, what are you most looking forward to kind of once you get to that Saturday at the Fargo Dome? What are you most looking forward to?
Just like the atmosphere, it's gonna be so fun and there's just gonna be a lot of people there.
Annie, is there a particular subject in class that you enjoy learning about more or studying about more than others in school?
I really like science.
Okay, any kind of science, or what makes science stand out more so than math or geography or social studies, so to speak?
I really like geology and just like nature, I guess.
Hey, Annie, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Join us here is Grace Lemar, part of the Central Casa Wrestling Preview Show. And Grace, just take us through what that weekend was up in Grand Forks to win the third straight dual championship team with the bullseye on your back. Just take us what the emotions kind of were through that particular weekend.
Well, right away it was kind of stressful because I had the idea in the back of my head, we have to win this because then my dad will get his 400th win. And so that was like kind of it. But then when we got there, everything started to cool down and we got into our groove. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, you're able to kind of have yourself and Lincoln there kind of put the bow on top, knowing that, points wise that you're able to, win another championship. Just kind of what did that particular stretch of wrestling, seeing what she was able to do in front of you, but then knowing once you got your result, Grace, that you were going to be East Region champs. Did you know at that particular point that put your team over the top?
Yeah, I was talking with my dad probably about that whole duel, about like what they're gonna do, what we're gonna do, where our like team will line up. So by about the fourth match, I was like, oh, we got this in the bag. We're fine. So
When you knew that the 400 was coming through, what does that just mean from a family aspect, a team aspect, able to be part of that accomplishment, that milestone?
I was so proud of him. I still am proud of him. I've been by his mat side since I was born. So like seeing him grow from getting 350 2 years ago to getting 400 now, it's just crazy to think about.
What's one thing that you enjoy most about this year's team? I know I've asked wrestlers and yourself this, in prior years, but what's a trait that best describes this year's version of this particular Central Cast Girls Wrestling program here?
We're really driven this year. We're more confident than we have been. We pick each other up when a lot of us are down at times. So we're more of a family this year than we have been in the past.
What makes the Fargo Dome particularly just different outside of the obvious where it's state, Grace? What makes from a wrestler any different than what it is on a particular weekend, a East Region, the Bell? What just makes the Fargo Dome just a little bit more unique?
Well, it is huge, but um this year I don't think it's much different. Our girls went down to Wisconsin and wrestled there for duels this year, and that was a huge stage that we had to perform on. So I don't I'm just excited to see how we do. It's gonna be fun.
Is there a particular trip that you most look forward to? Was, lacrosse something that you really enjoyed? Was there another tournament that you enjoyed this year, Grace? Just was one so far up to this point that you've enjoyed the most this season?
Lacrosse was really fun. Once we got down there, the drive wasn't fun, but once we got down there and we got settled, we showed who North Dakota could be, and it was really fun. That was probably my favorite. But other than that, honestly, I don't know. A lot of them are fun these days.
I know once you get to Wisconsin, you get to see some different wrestlers that make it more enjoyable, not having to see the same person, so to speak, across from you sometimes that you get to see repetitive almost week in and week out.
Yeah, it lifted a lot of weights off of girls' backs. Like, oh, I don't have to worry about rankings this weekend. I can just go out and wrestle how I want to wrestle. And yeah, it was really fun. And we got to see different atmospheres of how other teams interact with their teammates and stuff like that.
For you, Grace, how much are you studying? We hear in certain sports, basketball, you'll watch film, football, you look at volleyball, are they coming out with a double block or not? But when it comes to wrestling, how much are you studying your opposition or your opponents? Or is it just, I just got to worry about what I can control when you finally get to the mat, when you're able to get out there?
It's more of just what can I do when I get out there. I'm just kind of going with the flow this year, and what happens, happens.
What's been something that you've kind of learned from the senior class and just kind of what do they kind of mean for you here, Grace?
Well, our seniors this year, they're very funny, so we're gonna miss a lot of their jokes. But yeah, I've looked up to a bunch of them. Ava Gulleson, she's literally like my big sister these days. So yeah, I've learned a lot.
Final thing for me, Grace, as you just kind of look back at the particular tournaments and just wrestling in general, is there a particular favorite moment? Is it easy to say the most recent with the 400th, with your dad? Just take us through what one or two wrestling moments that kind of stands out most for you.
Honestly, I think his 400th win has got to be my favorite memory right now, even though that was literally just last weekend. It's such a good memory. Or honestly, going all the way back to our first ever dual wrestled in North Dakota, that's a great memory because it's just our breaking our milestone right there.
Hey, Grace, thanks so much for your time and best of luck once you get to the Dome.
Thank you so much.
Aubrey Kunze joining us now, part of the Central Cass State Dual Wrestling Tournament team. Aubrey, what does it mean to be part of a squad that's won 3 consecutive East Region Dual Tournament champions?
It feels pretty good. This is only my first year, so just watching everyone, it's really good.
What have you kind of learned as a first year wrestler? Obviously, everybody's in their own progression as a wrestler and how many years they've done it, but what have you kind of learned your first year wrestling here, Aubrey?
I've definitely learned just like the mental aspect of it and just like not getting down after wrestling people that have wrestled for like 6 years.
Why was this year? What was the reason that you said, you know what, let's give wrestling a chance this year and be part of the squad?
The girls, they just talked me into it, and I was just like, yeah, I'll try it.
So after doing it so far throughout the year, what's a trait or characteristic that you best like about, wrestling in general or just the squad this year? What do you enjoy most about this year's team?
Probably the like oh my gosh, the words. Just like the that they're always there and just like encouraging.
Is there something from the wrestling mat that's you've taken outside of wrestling, so to speak, once you go to school or just your day-to-day life? Is there something that you've kind of learned in wrestling that you've taken with you outside of practice or outside of a tournament?
Mm, if you could say like just the confidence level of it. Just like I would have never gone out last year on a mat with just me and one other person.
For you, Aubrey, is there a particular favorite memory so far this year that kind of sticks out, whether it's something competing, something practicing, just kind of what have you enjoyed most this year with a favorite memory or two?
Probably getting to go to La Crosse, Wisconsin with the team.
What made lacrosse, Wisconsin just kind of be a fun time for you?
Seeing new competition that I won't probably ever see for a while.
Is there a particular reason for a particular reason that someone should give wrestling a try? Just now that you've kind of gone through it, why should someone, if they ask you why should they, give wrestling a try? What would be the reason?
Just to like try new things and get in shape if you want.
Aubrey, thanks so much for your time and best of luck throughout the rest of the year.
Yep, thank you.
Brianna Mayer joined us here from the Central Cass Squirrels. And Brianna, just take us through what it means for you to be part of a wrestling dual team here that has made it, 3 consecutive years winning the East Region tournament.
It feels like such a great opportunity to be part of the team. And I know even if we weren't, we would still be there for each other supporting. And I love how we all come together and push through like everything together and just come back even stronger each year.
As you get ready for the state dual tournament, that'll be the bookend everything at state on that Saturday morning against Dickinson. What are you most looking forward to once you kind of get to the Fargo Dome as a wrestler here?
I'm excited for all of us to walk in and just like experience this, especially as a senior for the last year, like just taking in every moment because it's such a like a great opportunity to be there.
Brianna, you mentioned it as a senior. Have you been able to savor it a little bit more? Has it gone by in a blink of an eye? Just kind of how has this year kind of gone for you, both on the mat and in the school and in general?
It's definitely like hit a couple times, especially with like injuries and like not wanting to be out and like pushing through and like just knowing that this is my last year with my team. Like the last year I'm putting my shoes on the mat. Like it's something that I don't take for granted.
What's one thing that you like about this particular senior class? What makes you guys kind of just click and, leave kind of what you want to for the next generation of wrestlers coming up through the program?
Um, Especially how we helped create the like sport as women, like, and just because we all have like started around the same time, and we all like are mutual friends as it is, and have lots of classes, and we've known each other since we were young. That helps a lot too.
As you go through a particular season, is there one particular tournament that you look forward to wrestling in more so than others, whether it's individual, one could be dual, one could be a little bit more travel? What are you looking forward to once you saw the schedule this year? Just what's been a tournament that you've enjoyed competing at in the past?
Um, I would have to say the Napoleon one. Um, like it was named like a different name this year. But that's probably one of my favorite tournaments just because that's my first tournament I have ever wrestled at, and just seeing how that's the start of each year and then see how much I improve throughout the year.
You go from there into particular this group here when it comes to wrestling. Kind of cool to be part of Travis Lamar's 400th career win as well in Grand Forks. Just take us through what that means to be part of history, so to speak. Once you got to see that, up in Grand Forks.
It it was honestly amazing. Like just seeing the look on his face too, like and knowing that we were a part of his history and a big moment of his life, and knowing that we do mean something.
Brianna, as you move forward, you mentioned senior year. Just kind of what's the plans once you kind of get to next fall, so to speak? Where you're off to, and what are you kind of off to and heading?
I'm going to go to NDSU for an accounting degree.
What made NDSU and accounting? What just kind of made that be the right choice for you?
Um, I just I've always loved NDSU since I was little, and accounting, I originally wanted to be a math teacher, but accounting just seems more suitable for me. But
I know you still got some more wrestling left to be done, Brianna, here before it's all said and done. But at to this point, when we're talking, what's a favorite wrestling memory that you have? Whether it's something in the practice room, it could be travel, it could be doing something just a normal dual tournament. But what kind of something stands out for you for one of your two of your favorite wrestling memories?
it definitely has to be any duel, in fact. Just having all of us like crowded around the mat, just watching each of us wrestle and just yelling and supporting each other.
Hey, Brianna, thanks so much for your time and best of luck here once you get to state.
Thank you.
Jadyn, what does it mean for you here with the Central Cast Wrestling program to be part of a third straight year on the East Region Dual Tournament Championship, being part of the program here this season here, Jadyn?
I think it's pretty cool, and I can see the improvements our team has made over the years. And I think we've become more confident on what we put on the mat when we're out at like tournaments and duels.
When it comes to this, Jadyn, what do you enjoy most about this year's team? What's a trait or characteristic that best kind of describes the Squirrels this season?
Um, we like we get along really well, and we don't like really argue at all, and we can make jokes and have fun with the coaches too.
Jadyn, what take us through your wrestling journey? How long have you been part of the wrestling squad here, and just kind of what got you into wrestling?
I've been in wrestling for 4 years. I started in seventh grade. I was kind of drawn into it because I did kickboxing for 2 years, and I was like, you know what, let's try wrestling. Maybe it'll boost my, maybe it might be fun and boost my confidence. Did
Why,
not boost the confidence, but made me more nervous.
why should someone give wrestling a try? Kind of from your journey, why should they give it an opportunity?
It might be fun for it too, because you have like opportunities, and it's not like in like another sport like basketball where you're just like there's five other people, and you have to like run and get open and like support a team and you have to like pass a ball. But I like in wrestling where it's just you and you do what you can do on the mat.
When it comes to wrestling, take us through a favorite moment, a memory, something that comes to mind for you here, Jadyn.
I would say um the um Larson tournament at Carrington, I think. That's where.
Yeah. What made that tournament? What'd you enjoy most about it?
I enjoyed that like I felt pretty proud on how good I did and like the place I got and how I wrestled that day.
What does a wrestler, what do you enjoy most about this time in February? I know the season is kind of winding down a little bit, but the matches are a little more intense in terms of, understanding of trying to qualify and get to state. But what do you enjoy most about February compared to back in October, November when you kind of get going here, Jadyn?
I like in February where it's like when you're almost done and that like almost done, there's no like duels during like the weekdays. I can have more food.
That goes to my final question. The follow-up question, is there a particular food group that you kind of had to avoid throughout the season that once state gets done, you're looking to devour on a Sunday or a Monday, after that state tournament?
The sweets, the
The
sweet
sweets? Is it like chocolate or just any kind of sweet?
chocolate and gummies.
Should be a lot of fun. Well, hopefully you can have a good chunk of those once the season gets done here, Jadyn. Thanks so much for your time and best of luck going forward.
Yep.
Bye.
Ava Crandall joining us now, part of the Central Cast wrestling team. Ava, just what does it mean for you to be heading back to state on the team dual side and seeing this program make their way back as the East #1 seed?
I think it's like pretty cool just to be in the like moment with these like girls. Like it's really fun to be a part of this team. And now we've made it to state again, so it's pretty fun.
What are you most looking forward to once you get to that, last day of that dual tournament day at the Fargo? What are you most looking forward to as a wrestler?
Probably just like hanging out with my team and like making the best out of it, working hard and seeing where we finish off.
What makes this year's team a trait or characteristic that best describes this year's team here, Ava? What kind of just comes to mind when someone asks you about the Central Cast wrestling squad this season?
Kind of like a family. We're all just kind of like there for each other. Like no matter what's happening, like they're always just there.
As you go from this particular question to the next one, which is what is your favorite wrestling moment to this point? What kind of comes to mind for you? Favorite wrestling moment, practice, duel, individual tournament? What comes to mind?
Probably when we went to Wisconsin. I really enjoyed that. We were just there for a couple days and we all just got to hang out as a team and we did pretty well there. So,
Wisconsin has been something that's been brought up by not all your teammates, but a lot of your teammates here, Ava. Why do you think Wisconsin was so much fun for your crew this year, first time doing it?
well, we didn't really like see a lot of our normal competition and then like I just hanging out like longer with our teammates and like just having like one-on-one time with them.
Is there something from the senior class that you've kind of learned that you've taken with you into your own wrestling or just, outside the mat? What's something they've kind of learned from the senior class this year?
Um, I'm not sure.
Okay, then I'll ask you this. What's something from wrestling that you've kind of used with you in school or out of school? What's something from the wrestling mat that you've kind of learned just in wrestling that you've kind of taken with you outside the mat?
Work hard like no matter where you are. You'll have a better outcome. Like if you work hard and like yeah, just work
Hey,
hard.
Ava, why should someone give wrestling a try? Why should someone come out for their local wrestling program?
Um, it's fun. Like the atmosphere is fun. Your fans are fun. Your teammates are fun, and you'll be in good shape.
Ava, take us through your wrestling journey. How did wrestling spark your interest, or how did you get into wrestling in general?
I kind of got into wrestling from my brother. He like wrestled like a really long time. And then I was like, oh, maybe I should just give it a try. So I was in Crushers for a little bit, and now I'm on the high school team.
Hey, Ava, thanks so much for your time and best of luck once you get to state.
Thank you.
Joining us now, the head coach is Travis Lemar, and Travis is obviously has to feel nice going into a dual tournament, coming out on top. You've had the bullseye on your back, being the back-to-back defending champs, and you're able to win it for a third consecutive season at Grand Forks Central. Just what does this year's one, I guess, mean for the club? Again, being that back-to-back champ and coming out as the #1 seed again from the East.
Yeah, one of the coaches up there asked me, he's like, "Hey, have you ever lost to an East school?" And I said, "Nope, and we don't plan on doing it today either." So, um, I think this year, like the first couple years, it was so brand new, so just for everybody, that it was hard to appreciate it. Like winning back to back and that kind of stuff. It was just kind of expected. Well, you got the most girls, you've had the most success, that kind of stuff. This year, everybody really closed the gap on us, right? Like teams wrestled us a lot closer. It was a lot tougher to find the wins and things like that. Um, and going into it, there were a lot of opponents that said, this is the year that we knock you off. So, like you said, having that bullseye on our back, like we really relished that this year, and we were ready to defend it and make sure that we came out #1, and the girls did that. It was a great team effort. Each duel, we had somebody else step up huge and win matches for us, and yeah, I couldn't be prouder of this team.
Let's before we talk about your opponent coming up with Dickinson on Saturday, February 22nd for a little wrestling in the morning in the quarterfinals at state. Let's talk about some of your individuals in that championship match at Grand Forks Central, just kind of what they were able to do against Team Grand Forks. Laken Kapaun, with that fall, and she had to work for it. 5 minutes, 24 seconds, Travis. And, that was obviously a big one that got you over the hump in terms of just the points and the seeds at that particular time of where you were looking to kind of chess piece that particular duel. But what did you see from her just grinding one out there and coming out with that pin?
I told her dad afterwards where he was kind of standing on the other side of the gym, and I'm like, "Hey, Adam, come here." And he comes over and I said, "That's the best your daughter's wrestled all year. Like that's a girl that's pinned her twice this year. And very quality opponent. Like she's a really good wrestler. But it truly was like you saw all of the potential that Laken Kapaun had in that match. Like she stayed in good position the whole time. She stayed on the offense the whole time. She was constantly in control, and really frustrated her opponent because her opponent was, is not used to being kind of in those types of positions. And for her to get that pin was huge. Like as every coach, you kind of go in and you pencil out where you think things are going to be, and I do best case and I do worst case scenarios and try and figure out the moves that their coach is going to do. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't have it going that way. We all know that she's a very talented wrestler, and it showed there. And honestly, I mean, her getting that it didn't seal up the dual victory for us. We still needed another one, but it really locked it in. It made my moves up top a lot easier to be able to do to kind of protect some of our girls and keep them healthy for this upcoming weekend and not have to put them on the mat. So it was great. I mean, like I said, it's the best she's wrestled all year. She wrestled a perfect match. And like if she can put those types of matches together here these next 2 weekends, she'll find herself on both podiums pretty high.
Before we let you go, 2 more questions here. Another one with Grace Lemar, able to do something similar that kind of did then at that particular juncture, put you over the mat, going from what we saw from Lincoln. Then once Grace got that, then at least from a team standpoint wide for the points, you knew that, hey, you're going to be the 1 seed again. So just take us through the emotion, whether it was Grace, whether it was Anna, whether it was Lois, whoever it was at that particular moment, Travis, when you knew officially, hey, we're the 1 seed again. Just take us through what that's like as a coach, seeing those wrestlers come out with that potential and finishing the way that they did.
I mean, like speaking of Anna, right? Like she's just dynamite, right? She's been phenomenal all year. She's easily our best wrestler. I mean, everybody knows it. She lives for wrestling. It's what she puts all her time into. And to see her have the kind of success that she's having this year is awesome because like, how hard she's worked to try and, put all of that into it. And, she's been a leader for us on and off the mat. And, if you had 13 Anna Whites, I wouldn't have to worry about coaching at all. I just sit in the corner and get to, play on my phone, and they just go out and do their thing. For Grace, being able to step on the mat, and seal that up for us was huge. She's obviously, she's my daughter, coach's kid, all that kind of stuff. I think it's fair to say wrestling is not her favorite sport. She'll gladly say that to anybody. But it's what we do, right? And she's been a big part of our success this year. She really wrestles to make sure that she's ready to go for track, and she battled through some injuries here this last half of the year. She hasn't been able to wrestle fully in tournaments and in practice. So for her to be able to go out and kind of get that win for us and seal up the duel was super special. As a coach and a dad sitting there, in the corner watching her get the pin to lock that up. And kind of special for our family because I've been in this biz for a long time, and I've been blessed to have a lot of great teams. And when those teams go out and perform, in spite of bad coaching, you get recognized for it. And when she got that sealed up win number 400 for me, which was a milestone that I never thought I would ever envision as a coach or anything like that. So kind of an extra special moment for us as a family, and just a cool experience for our girls, and told them how much it meant to me that, that they were part of it. And they've been a huge part of it. Our girls have rattled off a ton of wins over the last 4 years, and it's really helped propel my individual stats. And that's not why I do this, obviously, but to be able to be a part of their lives and have them be, realize like, holy crap, like we've been a long part of a great wrestling tradition here at Central Cass was pretty cool moment for all of us there. And to make it be such a special duel with us winning 3 in a row and coming out, as region dual champs with that was pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's just the cherry on top when you're able to have that with the family and win a East Region title and know that what it means going to state. And final thing, Travis, I probably should follow up on the 400, but I know you're more worried about the team and the individuals that are going to be wrestling throughout the course of state. When you get to state, how much do you game film? Because we hear on the football field, it takes the weight room, it takes the game film, it takes the reps. Basketball, certain sports you hear about it in baseball. Is it a good relay, so to speak? But when it gets to wrestling, when you got your opponent that's coming up in Dickinson at 10 o'clock on a Saturday morning at the Fargo Dome, how much film work are you doing leading up to that? Or how much do you get to see the West, before you get to a state tournament like this?
Yeah, we've seen him a little bit this year. Coach Stravia has done a phenomenal job building that program up to where they are right now. Got a lot of respect for him. He and I have spent hours on the phone over the last couple of years just talking girls wrestling and how to help him build his program and doing those kind of things. He's very passionate. His kids work hard. For me, really, it's going to be, trying to find time to find our key matchups and what their girls really like to do, how they like to attack, how they defend things and stuff like that. And, the biggest strategy with wrestling is matchups, right? Like if you can get your best on their best, and you got to win the swing matches. So try to find favorable matchups for us there and moving girls around and figuring those things out. There'll definitely be time spent during the tournament just watching Dickinson girls, trying to figure them out and making sure that we put our girls in the best position to have success on Saturday morning. So key for us and honestly, it's going to be key for them too, is making it through the individual healthy. Like the team that comes into that region or that state dual tournament the most healthy is going to have the best shot at winning it. A couple years ago, we were kind of favored to win it, and we didn't make it through individuals healthy, and it showed. We had to forfeit some weights, and we lost some matches that we typically wouldn't have lost, and it cost us a chance at a state dual title. So trying to manage the girls and making sure that they stay healthy throughout the whole thing, and giving us the best chance to try and win 3 duels on Saturday is going to be, it's a tall task, but we're ready for it.
Hey, Travis, as always, thank you so much for your time and best of luck as you get ready for the Fargo Dome coming up.
Thanks, Chase. We really appreciate everything you guys have done for us throughout the year.
Welcome back to our Central Cast State Wrestling Preview Show. Josh Boyko with you here. Ayden Thummel joining me this time. And we've got the sophomore, Ayden Thummel, here. And take me through how your season's been so far. What have been some of the highs for you so far?
My season, it hasn't gone exactly according to plan. I originally started out as a top-ranked 160 guy in the preseason, and then this stuff didn't go my way. Lost lots of really close matches, a lot of shoulda, woulda, couldas, but I've been able to start to like regain ground, rebuild confidence in myself, and I've just started to wrestle better all around.
What do you think is the biggest adjustment you've been able to make to start turning things around at the right time before state here?
I'm always getting told by our coaches, especially Zach and Cade, just everything doesn't matter until it hits February. That's when you gotta start worrying about it.
Yeah, clutch time performer coming up right here. So what is something that wrestling has taught you over your years so far with the Squirrels? What is something that you've been able to take away from wrestling?
Uh, Wrestling's like one of those unique sports. It teaches you like during your individuals, like you gotta worry about yourself, perform. But then also when you go and duel, you gotta worry about yourself, and then like if you win or lose, you gotta be able to come back and just cheer on your teammates. And then teaches you a lot of hard work and discipline. Uh, it gives you that mental edge over lots of other sports too.
Absolutely. And how has Coach Travis, head coach for you, how has he helped you along so far? Only a sophomore, you still got a lot of growing to do, of course, but what is something that he's been able to instill in you?
Uh, he's just, I don't know, he's just an all-around great guy. He gives you lots of lessons and advice, and he's not preparing you just for wrestling. He's also preparing you for your life after high school.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. So take us through a little bit of wrestling background for you. What got you into the sport? Is it something that you've always just been around, or did someone inspire you to get into the sport?
Oh, I don't really have much of a wrestling background. I don't know, Derrick was just kind of my friend in 7th grade. I decided to try it out. His parents recommended it to my parents, and then it's kind of just gone from there.
Yeah, for sure. And would you say he's been one of the teammates that you've really been able to connect with throughout this wrestling journey that you have, or just who are some people that you've been able to connect with as teammates?
Oh, yeah, Derrick and John, Grady and Caden Graber is my wrestling partner every day.
Yeah. And what have been some of the favorite memories? We've heard about the bus rides already. We've heard about just some of the fun memories. So what have been some of your highlights so far?
Oh, I don't know. I definitely like the bus rides. Mm, stopping at McDonald's after the Breckenridge duel. That was pretty nice.
There you go. Post match McDouble right there.
Yeah.
Uh, Talk about coming into state here on Thursday. What are you looking forward to, and what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like getting to wrestle in that scenario?
Uh, I think the atmosphere is gonna be, I think it'll be pretty loud in there, but I think it'll be pretty good for yourself though. Just you gotta be able to drown out the noise.
What kind of opportunity do you see state as to go out there and be able to place perhaps in your weight class? What kind of an opportunity do you see state as?
I think I see it as a very good opportunity for myself. I just have to go out there and prove it to myself that I can be one of those guys that plays.
Absolutely. So we're looking forward to seeing you do that here. We'll be in Fargo on Thursday, so looking forward to it on February 20th through 22nd. Thank you, Ayden, for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to our Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show. Got Ben Quittschreiber here from Central Cass, the freshman. So What has it been like to make state now in your freshman year? You've still got plenty of years left to go for Central Cast Wrestling, but what does it mean to get to the state level already?
Feels really good just because last year I was on varsity too, but I didn't have really a good as year as I wanted. And this year, just taking that next step up and getting to what I want to accomplish.
So, what are some of those adjustments and improvements that you've been able to make from last year to this year that's been able to propel you to the state level?
Just spending a lot more time working on in the off season and putting in more work in practice with the coaches and stuff.
Yeah, we've heard from a number of guys here about how a lot more work has been put in, and do you think that it's really paid off? Has it been able to show up over the this season that the work is being put in?
Definitely, I've seen a lot of improvements in a lot of my teammates.
So who are some of those teammates that you've been able to see improve and then just get to know better this year?
John and Derrick, they've definitely stepped up this year and gotten a lot better, and they've put in the work, and it showed.
You're only a freshman right now, but you've had some good moments so far. So what have been some of your favorite memories that you've had over your first couple of years on the varsity level?
The bus rides home from really far places, just spending time with my friends and having a fun time.
Yeah. And what do you enjoy about wrestling with your teammates and just getting to go to work with them each day?
Uh, Probably just no one's not having a good time. Everyone's always doing something.
Yeah. And so how has Coach Travis, helped you along this year and over your last couple of years? What is something that you've been able to learn from him?
Uh, he's a really good coach. He's always helping us and getting us ready, not just for wrestling, but what's next up in the real world and the challenges we might face.
Yeah, definitely. And what are you looking forward to most about state upcoming on Thursday here? What are you looking forward to most about stepping out on that mat?
Just looking forward to wrestle. Just what I have to prove.
Straight business. I love it. Do you have any songs on the playlist that really get you going? Any pre-match superstitions or traditions that you got, or is it just straight business when you step out there?
Just straight business. Or I like to listen to a little bit of Kanye West.
There you go. You heard it right here from Ben Quittschreiber, Kanye West, and Straight Focus heading into state right here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
Got Briley Maher on the state wrestling preview show for Central Cast with me. And Briley, take me through how your season's been. What have been some of the highs for you this year?
Uh, one of my highs is definitely being able to place at regionals, especially in a varsity bracket and winning some matches that you know, really tough and I could have lost, but I pulled through.
Yeah.
Uh, Regionals, I barely made it through to make it for state.
Well, you did make it through. So how big what was just running through your head in that moment when you were about to get that win right there in regionals that you just had to get that one last push to get into state?
Uh, I was kind of blank. I was just in awe and I couldn't believe what was going on and, you know, just surprised.
Yeah. Well, how big of a surprise is it going to be able to get to state here and now walking out onto that mat with it's going to be a lot of spotlight, a lot of people around you. So, what do you think that moment's going to be like when you step out onto the mat for state?
Definitely a lot of pressure. Uh, Probably gonna be a little nervous, but I think I'll be all right.
Do you have any strategy to be able to work through those nerves for a big match? Do you have any pregame rituals you go through, superstitions, playlists, stuff
Uh,
like that?
I like Creed and all that type of music, but I pray a little bit.
Absolutely. Yeah, good stuff, man. And what is something that wrestling has taught you over your years here at Central Cass? And yeah, what is some of the takeaways you have, lessons learned from wrestling?
Definitely discipline for sure. Uh, Eating right, trying to stay healthy, uh, pay attention in the room.
Yeah, we've heard a lot about discipline from your teammates here, and how has the coaching staff been able to keep you guys motivated, keep you guys focused, and just teach you guys up to get you to this point at state?
Uh, our coaching staff is great. If they see that we're doing something wrong, they'll come over and help us and work something out with us. And we'll go through it a couple minutes and try it with our partner and work stuff out.
Yeah. And how did you get into wrestling? What's the backstory that got you to being a squirrels wrestler?
Uh, seventh grade, I had some friends doing it, and I was like, oh, sure, it'll get me in shape. So I decided to join.
Yeah, for sure. And who have been some of those teammates that you've been able to connect with over your time here and just get to know better?
Uh, Aiden Peterson, he didn't qualify, but uh, some of our younger teammates, McCoy and John and Derrick and Caden Graber, for sure.
Yeah. And what have been some of your top memories here as a squirrel? What have you enjoyed most about this year or years past of wrestling?
Uh, Hotel stays, always liked hanging out with all my buddies and bus ride back home.
Yeah, for sure. Those have been the common answers so far. It seems like a really good time. So it's going to be a good time being able to watch you guys at state coming up here this week. So, Briley, best of luck. Good luck.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show here. Caden Graber, the senior, joins me here for the Central Cass Squirrels. And Caden, how's your season been so far?
Um, my season has definitely been an improvement from last season. I've come from 3 previous seasons of having a losing record to finally having a winning record this year, so I'm pretty proud of that.
What does it mean to have made it to state now with the placing last week? What is it like being able to advance now?
It means a lot. This is my first year qualifying, last year things didn't go as planned. It's pretty rough. But yeah, it means a lot to me this year.
What have the improvements or adjustments been like that you've been able to make to improve your game to be able to get to this point?
Definitely my work ethic. I've worked extremely hard in the off season and on season this year, way harder than last year, and it's really paid out a lot for me.
Yeah, Coach Travis, I just had him on a moment ago, and he was just talking about how the whole team's work ethic this year has been really good, right where it needs to be at. So, how big of a factor has that played team wide, culture wise, just having that high work level ethic?
It's awesome. It drives everyone else, to work harder. I feel like there's kind of a competition, which gets things going better. Everyone's improving from it.
Yeah, definitely. And who have been some teammates that you've been able to enjoy wrestling with and just having that team bond, team atmosphere? Who have been some of those that have stuck out to you?
Um, I'm pretty close, I'd say, with everyone in the room. My wrestling partner, Ayden Thummel, him too. I've been do a lot of stuff with John Cahl, Derrick, Hunter Parisian, Ben Quittschreiber, McCoy, like kind of just everyone. But
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure. So let's talk a little bit of wrestling background here. So how did you get into wrestling? Have you been in it for a long time, or did someone inspire you to join up? So how did you get into wrestling?
I got into wrestling my freshman year after football season. I talked to Travis was my linebacker coach, and I really wanted to improve at the sport of football, and he recommended wrestling. He said it would make me a good player, and it definitely did. And then I stuck with it.
Yeah. What is something been about wrestling that you've been able to take away as just a lesson, whether it's on the mat or in life in general?
Um, to me, it's two main things. It's discipline and responsibility. It's
Yeah, we've
just,
we've
yeah.
been hearing a lot about that from everyone that's been on so far, and it's really good to hear. Uh, Talk about state upcoming here and just the atmosphere you're going to be able to experience. How excited are you to be able to step on that mat for the first time at the state level?
I think I'm pretty excited. It's gonna be awesome to be able to, finally not be that guy sitting in the stands watching, but looking up into the stands and having other people watching you.
Yeah, that's an awesome note right there. So, what do you have any pregame traditions, superstitions, or songs you listen to before the mat, or do you just go focused into it?
Um, it's kind of like a mix. Sometimes I'll put on some headphones and turn on like some 21 Savage, but other times it's just nothing, just getting locked in.
Laser focused. What have been some of your favorite memories that you've been able to take away from wrestling as you'll be graduating this year? So what have been some of the biggest memories for you?
Oh yeah, the hotel stays, overnight tournaments, those will always be one of my greatest memories. Never had a bad time at one of those. Always fun.
Good stuff. That is Caden Graber on our Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show. Caden, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show here. Josh Boyko along with Derrick Jorissen. And Derrick, take us through how your season's been so far. You're coming off of a really good performance last weekend. So just take us through how the season's been for you so far.
This year I feel like the season's gone kind of as I've planned. Lost a few matches I felt like I could have won, but other than that, it's been pretty good placing at almost all the tournaments we've gone to.
For sure. And so let's just talk wrestling background here for a little bit. How did you get into wrestling? Was there anyone that inspired you to join up, or has it just always been something you've wanted to be in?
So I have a family member, Jeremiah Sullivan. He's actually one of our coaches. He's kind of the reason I started wrestling. He always wrestled before me. So I started wrestling when I was, I think, 4, and I haven't stopped.
That's awesome right there. So what is something that wrestling has taught you over your years so far as a squirrel? What is something you've learned about life just through the game of wrestling?
I just say discipline and hard work gets you where you want to go.
Absolutely. We just heard that from John Call too. It's a very similar answer. So talk about Coach Travis and just what he's been able to instill in you. It's probably similar to what you were just saying there, but how has he helped you along in your wrestling journey and just in your high school life?
Yeah, I'd say Trav teaches us things for wrestling and even outside of wrestling in the real world, like what I said before.
Yeah, definitely. And what does it mean for you to be able to have gotten to state this year with that great performance last week? How big is it? How excited are you for this upcoming week?
I'm excited. Last week was fun, but still 3 more days of practice and then 2 days of wrestling left this year.
Yeah, absolutely. Who are some of the teammates that you've been able to connect with over your time here as a squirrel so far? Who are some teammates that you've really bonded with?
I'd say mainly John because he's been my practice partner since 7th grade. That's that's my main one, I'd say.
Yeah, you guys are each other's main, so good answer right there. What have been some of your favorite memories that you've had as a squirrel so far?
Favorite, probably winning Letterman's this year. It's fun to win the tournament at your home school.
Yeah, definitely. And what are you looking forward to most about the atmosphere is probably going to be pretty crazy here coming up in Fargo. So what do you think it's going to be like stepping out onto the mat at state here?
I think it's gonna be fun. We have our whole community, our whole wrestling community supports me and the whole team. So I think they'll show up and be excited the whole tournament.
Do you have any songs, any pregame rituals or superstitions that you've got before you go out onto the mat, or is it just laser
Um,
focus when you step out there?
um, I'd say Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mills. That's a good one.
There you go. You heard it right here. So that is Derrick Jorissen with us on our Central Cast State preview for wrestling. Thank you for joining me, Derrick, and good luck coming up here on starting Thursday.
Thank you.
Got Gallagher Wheeler here on the Central Cast State Wrestling Preview Show. Josh Boyko here as well. Gallagher, take me through how your season's been and how exciting is it to have qualified for state already in junior high?
Um, it's been pretty good, ups and downs. Could have won some matches. A lot of proving still to go. Um, Excited to go to state at the same time, worried. Just, yeah.
Yeah. And how did you get into wrestling here? So currently one of the younger members on this roster here that made it to state. But how long have you been at it, and who have been some of your inspirations that have kept you going along the way?
Um, I got into it around when I was like 4 years old. Uh, my older brothers, uh, got me into it, and yeah, it's just been going from there.
How much does having older brothers help in the wrestling world here that you're able to just connect with them, and then how have they made you better as a wrestler?
They've made me better by knowing what's gonna go happen, and like they taught me a lot of discipline before I got into the upper leagues, and they just helped me through the tough challenges with wrestling.
Absolutely. What is a lesson that you've learned through wrestling, through the game of wrestling? What's a takeaway that you have from the game?
Um, Discipline for sure, and a work ethic. Discipline because if you don't have the discipline, you're not gonna like perform well and just go out there and think you're all that, and then you're not because you don't put in the work. And the ethic for sure because like on the off season, if you're lousy and not working, become a wrestling season, you're not gonna perform as well.
Yeah. What have you enjoyed about getting to wrestle with your teammates here? Who are some of the guys you've been able to connect with this year?
I've been connecting with Jake Myron, Logan Antony, and Ivor, and Mason Lemar for sure. They've just been there helping me learn more new moves and get through it.
Yeah. And what have been some of your favorite memories of going through this season here in eighth grade? What have been some of your top memories?
Qualifying for state for sure, and staying at hotels after tournaments.
Yeah. What was that moment like after you knew you qualified for state just in the eighth grade right now, but with a bright future ahead of you? What has it been like knowing that you've already made it in junior high?
Um, Excitement. Yeah, just a lot of excitement.
Yeah. And I'm sure you're going to be feeling that once you step out onto the mat for state. Do you think it'll be a nerve-wracking time, or do you think you'll be pretty locked in and ready to go come state?
Um, Come to state, I should be pretty locked in. Just got to get the mindset that you can go out there and do anything you want. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well said. And state coming up here this week. Best of luck to you, Gallagher, as you step onto that mat at state for the first time. Good luck.
Thank you.
All right, that's Gallagher Wheeler joining me on the Central Cast State Wrestling Preview Show. Grady Link joins me now here on the Central Cast State Wrestling Preview Show. And Grady, senior year, what have been some of your highlights here with Central Cast Wrestling?
I would say, I mean, I've had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of injuries, but some of the few highlights is just when I can be on the mat and picking up wins here and there where I can, just grinding it out, finishing out my senior year. Even if it feels like a down year compared to other years, it's still another year I'll always remember, and I've learned valuable lessons from it.
Yeah, and despite maybe being a down year to your standards, you're still here at state. So what opportunity does state present to kind of just forget about maybe having some injuries or down moments? What opportunity does this
Yo,
provide for you?
yeah, I mean, seeding does not matter, records do not matter. It's just it's two high schoolers wrestling, and it's anyone's match at any moment. So just going out there, not worrying about anything else, just focusing on myself and doing the best I can.
Absolutely. What are some of the things that wrestling, the sport has taught you over your time here at Central Cass as you're ready to head off after graduating?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is to never give up on anything. I think with me not doing as well as I want to, it's definitely tough to come in every day and want to work hard and want to continue to get better. But every single day, our coaches are teaching us, never quit. We're never done. We're never out until, the season's over. So I think that'd be the biggest thing.
Yeah. If someone, say, was on the fence about joining wrestling, what would you say the benefits are to being a part of this sport? What do you learn? What do you take away from it?
I think you'll learn valuable life lessons that can help you in literally anything you do. You'll learn more about yourself as a person. I think that I've learned more about myself. I've learned about my teammates, and I've became closer with guys I probably would never be that close with. It's memories you can always look back on, and you'll never look back and wish you didn't wrestle. You only look back and wish that you did. So you might as well do it.
Yeah, really well said right there. Team culture wise, how supportive have the guys all been of each other for the ones that did or didn't even make state this year? How has it been team culture wise?
Yeah, I think every time something doesn't go our way, everyone's picking each other up, picking me up, and then I do the best I can to pick everyone else up. Um, Even when things don't go the way you want it to, just you always got to be there for your teammate, be a leader, and no matter what mood you're in, you stand up there and you cheer your teammates on and be there for them, just like they were there for you.
And then looking forward to state here, what is it going to be like being able to step out onto that mat one last time for the state level? What's the emotion going to be like running through you?
Yeah, there'll be a lot of sadness when it is over, and I know that going into it, but we're just gonna make the most of it and not give up. Just finish it out, grind it out this week, and you know, hopefully have some good memories to look back on in the future.
Absolutely. Who have been some of the teammates that you've been able to connect with over your time as a Central Cast Squirrel wrestler?
Yeah, John, Derrick, Caden Graber, those have been some of my closest buddies. My practice partner, Hunter, you know, learning a lot about these guys, and I've gotten to know them very well over the past few years. And it'll be definitely sad when it's over, but I mean, I'll always have them.
How much are you looking forward to getting out on that mat and then also just supporting the other guys that have made it to state?
Yeah, you just it's what you wait for all year, so it's kind of been built up for how many months? I mean, you're even looking ahead in the fall and in the summer, like, okay, what's this going to be like? And it's finally the week that everyone waits for, and a lot of emotions, but just support everyone and go out there and give it your best.
What is that atmosphere at state like once you step out onto that mat? What is that atmosphere with the larger crowd, larger everything once you're in there?
Yeah, a lot of people there that don't wouldn't normally come to an average tournament. So a lot of them, this is the only time they see me wrestle in the whole year. So just trying to show out for them, show out for friends, family, do the best I can and leave everything off on a good note.
Absolutely. You got any pregame or pre-match traditions, superstitions, playlists that you go through?
No, I really don't. I try to keep an open mind, thinking about what I'm going to do in the match, but also, keeping my head clear and not worrying too much to stress myself out. I like to try to be calm and collective.
Yeah. What is something that Coach Travis or any of the assistants have been able to instill in you this last year? What have you been able to learn from them?
Yeah, being a senior, I mean, you don't really have much to lose. So it's kind of just like strap up and go out there and do everything you can. I mean, yeah, just nothing to lose. Always ready to give it the best you can.
How have you taken a hold of leadership opportunities as a senior here this year? We've got a couple guys in Gallagher and Logan, the eighth graders that have been able to make it as younger guys. How have you taken it upon yourself to show them the ropes, if you will, and just be a good leader?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is when matches don't go your way and learning how to lose because it's gonna happen to everyone and you know you can't dwell on it. You can't sit there and that's all you think about. You just gotta focus on the next match. And I think that's a big thing that young guys can learn is, you know, there's almost always another match afterward, you know, whether it's even the next year. Like you have something to look forward to when you're that young and just keep on grinding because it is a long grind.
Absolutely. Well, the biggest of matches coming up here with state wrestling coming up on Thursday. Good luck and thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show. I've got Hunter Parisien here with me, the junior. And Hunter, walk me through how your season's been so far and then what you're looking forward to coming up at state this week.
I feel like it's been a lot of ups and downs for my season with injuries and just hard matches to get through. But I feel like it's a great opportunity for me to get a high seed in state and have an opportunity to compete for my team.
What are some improvements you feel like you've been able to make over this season to now get to that state level and now try to excel there as well?
I feel like just getting healthy, getting better in the room, better ethic in the state of wrestling, and having a good mindset.
Yeah. How did last week go for you? And then just being able to qualify, and what are some takeaways that you learned from just last week?
I feel like last week I had a good week, coming in as a 2 seed, making the semis, and sadly losing, but coming back and getting third.
Yeah. What is something that wrestling has taught you on a personal level, like whether it's something on the mat or something that you've been able to take away for life in general?
Definitely having responsibility and just doing your own things.
Yeah. And you got any getting to just know Hunter off the mat here? You got any pregame or pre-match traditions here that you go through? Any music that you like to jam to before you hit the mat?
There's a lot of things I can listen to. I just have my playlist and you just put that on, I'm ready to go.
There you go. What have been some memories that you've taken away from your last few years here as a wrestler for Central Cast? What are some of your favorite moments?
Uh, I'd say probably like winning a lot of these close matches I've been in and having people above me leave and give me like knowledge for the younger people in our wrestling team.
Yeah. Who have some of those teammates been that you've been able to look up to and then just gain some knowledge from and just enjoy being teammates with?
I would say my practice partner Grady. He's taught me a lot throughout the season. There's a lot of other people like from the younger people that teach me more things, like Ben and Derrick, and then some of my close friends like John.
Yeah, for sure. And how about the coaching staff? So, Travis, what has he been able to instill in you, and what have you learned from him over your years here?
Well, I've learned a lot from Travis. I've known him for 13 plus years now, and he's like another dad to me, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. And then looking forward to state here, what's the most exciting part about getting able to step out on that mat for state and be able to compete for a good place?
Definitely competing for my family, my teammates, and my school in general.
Yeah, definitely. And that is Hunter Parisien. Thank you for joining me, Hunter. Thanks for taking it some time to chat.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to our Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show. Josh Boyko here with John Kahl from Central Cass Wrestling. And John, what's the season been like for you? Just take me a walk through how this year's been for you in wrestling.
Well, I've had a lot of fun this year with everything that's been going on. Just our second year in Class A, I think we've all been getting used to it. We've been competing better than last year, so I've had a lot of fun this year with everything.
Take me through that step up into Class A for you guys. Like you said, in another year in Class A, what's been the biggest difference moving up in class?
The biggest difference, it's probably the competition is the biggest difference. I think the competition is a little tougher with the bigger schools, like all the Bismarck schools, some of the Fargo schools, and it's just there's a lot of different kids to really compete with and have a good match with. So I think that's the biggest
Yeah,
step.
absolutely. And let's talk a little bit about wrestling background here. So, what got you into wrestling? Who's been your biggest inspiration during your wrestling high school career here?
Well, I can't really say what's got me into wrestling. I can't really remember, but I've always been wrestling since I was in like preschool. So I've been around the sport for quite a while. And I think my biggest inspiration would probably be one of the seniors that graduated last year named Kato T. He's one of my coaches now, but he's been a big help.
Absolutely. And what does it mean to you to be able to go and wrestle at state this year and just have the opportunity to place high in that?
No, it's a blessing for sure. I'm just happy to be a part of this sport, happy to be a part of like this great school that offers it, and I'm just happy to compete with everything. I'm just happy.
What's something you've learned from Coach Travis, whether it's from the wrestling mat or off of it? What is something that he has been able to instill in you over your time as a squirrel wrestler?
That the big thing is to always give, you can't control everything, but the two things you can control is attitude and effort.
That's huge for sure.
Yeah.
And so, with that, what are some of your favorite memories that you've had while you've been here at Central Cast Wrestling? What are some of your favorite takeaways?
Definitely the bus rides, because on the way back, we do a little thing called car jitsu, and we just have a little wrestling match in a bus seat. So that's always fun.
Fun times. And uh, talk about just some of your teammates here. Who have you been able to really bond with over your years as a squirrel wrestler? Who are some teammates that you've really gotten to know well?
Oh, the biggest one is my practice partner, Derrick Jorissen. We've always been practice partners since middle school, seventh grade, whatever. But we've been competing with each other for the longest time. And then Caden Graber, Drew Erbach, Grady Link, they've all been big with me. And then just some guys in my grade. So everybody on my team's big. I love them all.
For sure. Going a little bit off the mat here. So, what are the songs, or what is a song on your playlist that is going to just get you in the groove when you step onto that mat for state?
Honestly, before matches, I don't really listen to music. I'm not a, I just didn't this year, and I don't know, I just feel like I like that a little more, just no music. I don't know what it's about, but I just haven't been doing it, so.
Any pre-match traditions or superstitions you got?
Mm, just a couple deep breaths, and I'll walk out on the mat, all calm, cool, collective, and wrestle how I should.
Great way to go about it.
Yeah.
Well, we've got state coming up here this week, starting February 20th. So good luck and have a great time.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Logan Antony now joins me for the Central Cast Squirrels on our Central Cast State Wrestling Preview Show. Josh Boyko here. And Logan, what has it been like this season for you? What have been some of your highs of the year?
Definitely making it to state. That was pretty crazy. And definitely getting to wrestle on varsity for a few times.
Yeah. And as an eighth grader, you've made it to state already here. So what was that moment like when you locked in that spot to be able to participate this week in the state tournament?
Well, I didn't expect it. My goal this year was to just at least wrestle on varsity. I wasn't expecting wrestling in regions, let alone state this year.
How proud was the coaching staff, your teammates, when you're able to lock in state right there? Because like you said, maybe a little bit of an unexpected rise that you've done here, but you've made it now. already as an eighth grader to the state level. What was the support like from your team?
They're supportive. I mean, like, about the same for everyone else. Because, like, I'm not the only one who made it to state.
Yeah, definitely. Who have been some of the teammates that you've been able to grow close to over your time this year with Central Cast Wrestling?
Probably Gallagher Wheeler, Jake Myron, uh, Iverson Cooney, and Mason Lemar.
Yeah. What have been some of your favorite highlights and memories that you've had with them this year or in years past of wrestling?
Hotel stays, those are pretty fun. And just hanging out with them at tournaments, like on the sidelines of matches, watching people wrestle
Yeah.
and just cheering on your teammates.
Yeah, definitely. And how did you get into wrestling? Have you been at it for a long time, or have you just recently joined up to do wrestling?
I got into wrestling probably around middle of sixth grade, not too long. And it was mainly my mother who got me into wrestling because she was involved with it a lot when she was younger and growing up. And I just decided to give it a try.
Yeah. How nice is it to have that support from family heading into the state tournament? They got you into wrestling, and now you've been able to take it to the state level. How nice is it to have that support?
Well, I always have people who come and watch me every tournament, and now I'm gonna have a lot of people coming and watching me during state.
Yeah, you're certainly right. There's going to be a lot of people at the state tournament getting ready to watch here February 20th through 22nd. So, Logan, best of luck. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you.
Got Mccoy Ferguson here on the Central Cass State Wrestling Preview Show here with state coming up February 20th in Fargo. And McCoy, walk me through how your year has been so far and what you're looking forward to coming up at state.
I've had a pretty decent year so far. I've had quite a few tough matches that I've been really close to winning. A lot of them I haven't won, but specifically there was one match against Davies that I've been working hard to win all year, and at regionals I finally won. So
Yeah, how nice was it to finally break through in that match that you've been lining up for a while? How nice is it to be able to get that win?
it was super good. Everybody was super excited. It was such a great feeling after.
Yeah, what was the team support like in that moment? We've heard from other of your other teammates here about how you guys are all supportive of each other. What was it like in that moment?
It was amazing. After I got the win, I when I stood up and I turned around and there was just like the whole team, so many fans, just everybody was so excited.
Yeah, that's an awesome moment right there. What is something that wrestling has taught you over your years here as a squirrel? What is something that you've been able to take away from the sport of wrestling?
I'd say to not give up and keep working hard at what you want.
Yeah, definitely. And talk about a wrestling background for you here a little bit. What got you into the sport? Have you always just been a wrestler, or did someone get you into the sport? How did you join up in wrestling?
Um, Halfway through eighth grade year, I'd watched a little bit of wrestling and I kind of thought about joining, but I didn't know if it was too late. And I was in gym one day and I mentioned it to PE teacher and he said that it's not too late. And then he ended up talking to Trav and I joined halfway through eighth grade and I've just kind of stuck with it ever since.
Very cool. Who have been some of the teammates that you've enjoyed getting to know throughout your journey here with Central Cast? Still got a year to go, of course, as a junior, but who have been some of the teammates that you've bonded with over the years?
I'd say my main teammates, I mean, we all have a pretty good bond, but my main ones are probably Adrian and Riley, probably Caden Graber and John and Derrick.
What have been some of your top highlights and favorite moments that you've had throughout your years here at Central Cast for wrestling? What have been some of your favorite memories?
Favorite memories are definitely going to tournaments and then being able to stay at a hotel and hang out with the team at night. and then obviously, of course, getting some of the major wins throughout the season.
Yeah. And with state coming up here, starting this week, what are you looking forward to most about being able to go out there and get a placement, hopefully?
Yeah, I'm just looking, it's first time ever making it to state, first time qualifying. So I'm pretty excited to be able to wrestle this time instead of having to watch everybody else.
Yeah, definitely. Uh, so since you've made it to state here, what do you think it's going to be like getting to step into that stadium for the first time and just experience that for the first time?
It's definitely gonna be a whole different feel, and it's gonna be way bigger, gonna be way more people. But at the end of the day, when I step onto the mat, I'm just gonna have to drown out that noise and wrestle.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it. Thank you for joining me, McCoy, and good luck this week.
Thank you.
And here we are on our coaches show and state preview for the Central Cast Squirrels before state wrestling. Got Travis Lemar with me. Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. Just trying to recover from a long weekend of wrestling.
For sure. And take us through that weekend of wrestling. How do you think the team performed? What did you like from that weekend?
I mean, I told them afterwards, like, never question their effort, what they put forth and stuff like that. It was a long 2 days for them, even though they wrestled only on Saturday. I mean, we had a morning workout Friday so they could help with the girls tournament that we hosted here. They worked the tournament, tried to get them home at a decent time so they get a good night's sleep, and then we're up and on the road by 7 o'clock for to head to Cheyenne for their tournament.
Yeah. And tell me about any standout performances or things that stood out to you from this last week.
Yeah, it's really hard to kind of hammer it down, right? I mean, obviously Derrick Jorissen in the finals had a great tournament. Had a really tough opponent in the finals, a kid that he's known basically his whole life, wrestled against through youth wrestling, junior high wrestling, JV wrestling, all that kind of stuff, and has never beaten him. And really felt like we had a great chance to get the win. Told him afterwards, I said, I think if you wrestled a full 6-minute match against him, believing that you could win, you definitely have the ability to do that. He wrestled the first period and a half kind of cautiously and didn't wrestle his own style, and it cost him. And I mean, credit to him, he pushed it to overtime, and we just didn't get the call that we needed there. And Griff gets a takedown on us, and he ends up winning region champ. But great effort by D. John Kahl again. Just those two have kind of led the charge for us here this year. Both younger wrestlers, lighter weights, but put a ton of time in the off season, and it's paying off. And our two seniors, Grady Link has kind of had an up and down year, been injured a lot. And really just getting him to state was going to be a tall task. 139 is a pretty stacked weight class. He's really kind of turned it on here at the end of the year, and has been wrestling some of the best wrestling he's done all year. And Caden Graber, same thing. Missed out last year, lost a match that we thought he could have won. So just getting him to the state tournament and having a chance to be there, at the in Fargo, and hopefully try and be one of those 8 guys at the end holding on to a plaque saying that you're a placer would be great.
What kind of atmosphere is this state tournament going to provide, and just kind of the adrenaline that's going to get these guys motivated to place in state?
Yeah, every tournament, every state tournament kind of has its own feel, right? And they're all great. But really this is the one that brings everybody together, right? Boys and girls are there, Class A and Class B are there. They have the individuals plus the dual portion of the tournament. So it's really unlike any other. And it's just constant loud. There's 8 mats going on at a time, so there's always some some high action somewhere that's got a fan base just going nuts. The biggest thing I think for us, is controlling that energy with our kids, making sure that, the highs aren't too high and the lows aren't too low, and we're just focusing on the task at hand and the match that we have in front of us. And if we can do that, we'll find a ton of success.
All right, Coach. We're looking forward to this coming up here starting Thursday, the 20th, and then running the next couple days. So thank you for joining me, and we'll get to some other wrestlers here in a bit.
Sounds good. Thank you. Appreciate
Thank
you guys.
Coach.